Nelson's got Badette in the backfield. You can throw it forward twice.
Open, H-fly 95. Open H-fly 95.
What is going on, everybody? Sorry for the slightly late start here.
Communication between the coordinator isn't just
but
to the
we
quarterback,
are
it's to all of the skill position
here
players.
checking
so he can talk
out
directly to his running back, number 22, Marquise Young, as well.
The Dallas Renegades versus the St. Louis.
This is insane.
What is it? Night something.
Nelson to Marquise
Nighthawks,
Young.
maybe?
And Pat, it gives us an idea of the play that's coming before the snap.
Battlehawks.
Well, I never wore a helmet with a microphone in it. I mean, I was a backup quarterback, not a starter. To hear the actual conversations, it's just been revolutionizing.
And it helps a guy like Philip Nelson. He took the first team snaps from the get-go for this Dallas team, but he can be tutored all the way up until the snap, even through the snap. In the NFL, that communication cuts off with 15 seconds on the play clock.
Here we go, let's go. Monday. Ready, go ahead.
Third down, 16, blitz coming. Nelson pressured.
Got
and they get to
him.
him and bring him down on third down. It's a loss of 2. And the defense for Jay Hayes, aggressive on third down. Hendricks comes up with the sack.
You might as well
What's
go
going
for it
on,
in this
everybody?
situation. If you punt this football,
Welcome
if it
on
goes out of
in.
bounds,
Welcome
it goes
on
into
in.
the end zone. They get it to 35-yard line anyhow. You're at the 35. This is a surprise to me to not see them go for this here.
Joey, I was talking to both kickers and punters before the game. This is a tough end to kick into because of how windy it is. They're kind of in that no man's land, third and long, fourth and long. Decided to play the field position game with a beautiful ball.
Great
checking
punt.
up beautifully.
Is that
Bayless,
Pat
Drew
McAfee?
Bayless kills it, a 33-yard punt, and it's going to be a really long field for St.
Sounds
Louis.
like
I
it.
guess if you can down it inside the 5, if your punter can do that consistently, then
Well,
maybe
we got
we'll see more punts in this game.
And we're going to learn more and more. Pat on the back from Pat McAfee.
Our complimentary static screen.
Jordan Ta'amu is the St. Louis quarterback.
So break it up a little bit.
Out of Ole Miss. And a native
How's
of
everybody
Hawaii.
doing out there? The first game, I didn't watch all of the. I didn't watch much of the first game.
Free agent in 2019,
How was it,
went
guys?
to camp with the Texans, but didn't stick. The throwing Samoan. He said, "I love to throw. I love to move around." And he looked up to the original throwing Samoan, Jack Thompson, at Washington State.
Crowds coming alive down here, Tom. These crowds all weekend have been.
I'm not going to stay on camera too long,
Matt
just
Jones
so I'm not in the
tailback.
way of all the action.
First touch for Jones.
But I will stay on the mic.
Product of the University of Florida, and he finds 5.
And the strength of this St. Louis team is in their backfield. They believe that they have
Mexican
running backs
Iron
that
Man,
can
what
carry
up,
this football
brother?
team with Kristen Michael, with Matt Jones, even Keith Ford. If they can establish the running game, it'll get this offense going.
Aaron Murray
Jones,
was
the third
terrible,
pick of
huh?
The Redskins out of Florida.
Woo! That's nasty.
Had a chance for the starting job there, but couldn't hold it.
Oh, here they
Pressure
come.
coming from the edge. Here's Jones. And a first down run out to the 20.
How about the blocking up front by this offensive line? And I asked Coach, could your offensive line be a ground and pound type of offense? And so far early, to get a big first down coming off the goal line, that is huge. Not only if they continue this drive, but it will help them flip the field if they do have to punt.
Time to throw. Beautiful pass and catch. Brandon
St.
Riley will turn
Louis?
it into a first
That was a
down.
nice
The most
pass.
dependable receivers for the Battlehawks are the guys that will line up in the slot.
And I love the play call. Run it 2 times, establish that you want to be physical, play action pass, wide open, slant behind. It
Hey,
clears up
Mexican
the
Iron
defense,
Man, I
makes it easy
appreciate
for
that,
us
man.
to
Thank you for checking out the
Riley will
content.
head
Thank
to
you
the
for
sideline, get
subscribing.
checked out.
Really appreciate that, my friend.
Here's Jones again.
Ooh, nice tackle.
And he finds 2.5 yards on first down.
Hey, remember when we talked to offense coordinator Chuck Long yesterday? He said when he was looking at the other XFL teams play on TV, their offensive line, he felt very good about his offensive line. Obviously, he's showing that early little ground and pound here.
Jake Campos is left tackle, 6'7", 320 out of Iowa State. But he was part of the Big 12's leading offense.
Give y'all that full screen experience right there.
St. Louis trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Jones finds nothing up the middle. Greeted by Tony Garrard, 26-year-old out of UCF. Third down look for Jonathan Hayes, who was great on third down as a tight end for both the Chiefs and the Steelers in his playing career. Longtime coach on Marvin Lewis's staff at Cincinnati. On 3rd and 6, Tamu swings it out. And Christian Michael gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Asante Brown, another big stop for Dallas.
Ran a mesh route underneath. Tamu didn't see what he wanted to see.
You know, I'm
Went to the
really
check
not
down,
a
and
big
Coach
fan
Long
of
told
those
us,
Dallas
"Look, just
uniforms.
Take your check downs. He's a young quarterback. He's getting his start in this league.
Not a big fan.
This is a good drive, honestly. They got off of the goal line, and now they have a chance to pin Dallas deep. So you're pretty excited about what you just did if you're Chuck Long offensively.
Former Raider Marquette King to punt it away. Gerard Hurd, the former Texas quarterback, to receive, and this one will be caught and down inside the goal line. Saved it from going out of bounds. It's a 30-yard punt. Not the best one from King. Back to Arlington in a moment.
So both teams there had a drive. Nothing overly spectacular from either one, but, you know. It's funny. I've got good friends hitting me up saying, hey, I can see you out there getting some pancakes. I'm just like, no. No way. At least not for the amount of money they're paying. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Well, let me get off of that. Yeah, you know, look, I'm not gonna hold them really too much on this, on how they're doing their uniforms. Just, you know, I would have probably tried some kind of new technology with uniforms just to kind of stick out a little bit more, but I think that I think they're just fine right now. I think the uniforms are just fine. I don't think there's anything that's offensive about them. I mean, those Tampa Bay colors, I feel like they're kind of screwing over Tampa Bay people with every football league that you see. But definitely is just, you know, definitely it's fine. It's just I wish they would have maybe tried to take a risk there with something in terms of technology, maybe add something to go a little bit more bleeding edge maybe. But it's fine. It's fine. So how's everybody's weekend going?
ESPN's presentation of the XFL is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
This is Globe Life Park. It opened in '94. It's hosted soccer.
Got a good
before,
friend
but
of
never
mine just
football.
he's
the
begging.
Rangers
He's
called it home
telling
for
me,
26
hey man,
years.
get out there.
Right across the street.
Give the people what they
$10
want. I do
renovation to
not
get this
think
set
so.
And ready for the Dallas Renegades.
All right, here we go.
Philip
Back
Nelson, the
to it.
quarterback. Second possession for Dallas. And a handoff to Austin Walter, product out of Rice University.
They threw 8 passes in one run on their first possession. So now you come out and can you establish some run? You got to take some of the pressure off of Philip Nelson in this game and not make him a quarterback that feels like he has to carry this football team.
It's a Dallas offense that will likely look much different next week in LA when Landry Jones makes his debut. Talking to Jazz Ferguson on the perimeter, and it goes to his tight end.
Nice
and it
pass, nice
Price,
pass.
The 27-year-old out of the University of South Florida.
J-Lo.
What could J-Lo be?
Could be a lot of things.
Here we go.
We're about to find out.
On 3rd and 1.
Oh, great
Dunbar
tackle.
got popped. President again.
Great tackle. I like it. Yeah, I like the Battlehawks uniforms. I actually like those.
See where the spot is.
Dallas Renegades, not a huge fan.
We have a ball spotting official in the red hat. That is their sole job, to keep the tempo moving. It'll be short of a first down, and they're going to punt it away. Drew Galitz back on the field. First team All Big 12 punter at Baylor. DeMornay Pearsonell from the 15 to the 20 and out to the 21-yard line.
Yeah.
47-yard punt, 6 on the return. Tigray Scales
Ta'amau.
with the special team stop.
Anybody know where this guy played at?
So here's Jordan Ta'amu, 19 games at Ole Miss. He threw for 5,600
Ole Miss,
yards.
okay,
Back up to
gotcha,
Shea
gotcha.
Patterson the beginning of his junior year. Then when Patterson was injured, Ta'amu took the job from him, transferred to Michigan.
Yeah, formerly Rodline. Yeah, there's definitely a difference in the way it's played and the speed of it. But I mean, like I said, guys, this is not terrible football at all. This is solid football. They're playing it straight up, and the rule changes have actually helped benefit what they're trying to do a little bit more, differentiating them from what's going on with the NFL. But
Yeah, you don't want to put your young quarterback in this
there is a
situation.
difference, clearly, but it's not.
The first drive, 4
this is
runs,
not.
2 passes.
This is no slouch kind of
Is in
football,
their
I would
backfield,
say.
And if they can lean on their running backs and then open up the play action pass, Tom will be a really good quarterback in this league.
Keith Ford on the field for the first time. Running back behind Ta'amu. And Ford tries to motor his way through. A pickup of 3. Chuck Long is the offensive coordinator for St. Louis.
All right, let's go 11. Trips right far, 501 jet trail. Trips right far, 501 jet trail.
501. Let's go, get set. Get set. Hey, Sunday. There you go.
5 wide. Ta'amu goes to the out route, and it's dropped off the hands of Ford and nearly picked off by Dallas.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
That's a low ball coming out to your running back, Matt Jones. And you want your running back to catch the ball out of the backfield. You have to help him out, put it around their numbers, make it an easier catch, and a big hit on the sideline. Now it sets up a 3rd and long. And again, putting pressure on your young quarterback to make a play a little further downfield.
On 3rd and 7, Ta'amu has time. And he lobs one down the sideline. Flag on the play, trying to get it to LaDamian Washington. Josh Hawkins had the coverage.
Move those chains, Tom Hart.
Before the pass, holding, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh, what a big difference, holding versus pass interference would have had it for a lot further down the field.
And that's what Tamu brings to the table is his ability to scramble, get out the pocket, extend the play. Now you're asking your defensive backs to play man-to-man coverage on these receivers, and that's where you get these kind of penalties.
I've been very impressed with Tamu. I talked to him during the break when they were on the sideline here. Very calm, very cool. He's 22 years old. His first 2 professional drives are backed up, extending the play there, getting a penalty. Off to a good start.
Here's Matt Jones with the carry, and he gets past the line of scrimmage for a yard. Talking with Jordan Tamu and his veteran wide receiver, LaDamian Washington, yesterday. And LaDamian was so impressed with everything that Jordan has been able to handle as a young quarterback.
And realize these teams don't have a lot of film to watch on one another. And so they're filling each other out early in this game. Really, Dallas realizes now St. Louis wants to establish the run. They're bringing more guys into the pocket, and it'll set up a 2nd and long. And now if you're Dallas's defense, you feel like things are in your favor.
And bring an extra man. Tamu going deep again. Nice touch, and it is hauled in up the sideline. Alonzo Russell
Nice
with the
throw.
first down
Nice
catch and a
throw.
gain of 29. They went after Josh Hawkins at
Nice
corner
throw,
again.
nice catch.
Alonzo Russell is a guy that's 6'4". He's the guy that you get closer to the goal line.
That
they want to throw
double
balls up, let him
move.
Go get him. You can see the size. It's pretty good coverage. Great throw by Tamu to the outside of the receiver where only he can get it, and then that length of Russell at 6'4" brings the ball in on the sideline.
A double move with a pump fake. Tamu drops it in a bucket there.
Only need 1 foot down in the XFL for it to be a completion. Dallas runs a couple guys off late.
Ooh.
Running game, nothing doing.
Crushing that
Chris
running
and Michael,
game,
the
though.
product of Texas A&M, loses
Crushing
a
it.
yard.
That'd be really surprised to see Chuck Long go with another run. If they get another first down, they've run the ball. And I'll be really surprised if he does it again because they are putting guys in the box.
602, follow spot. Right Trout, 602, follow spot.
Second possession for St. Louis.
Sunday! Ready, go!
Here comes pressure up the middle. Tamu with a laser that's just past the reach of his intended receiver, Marcus Lucas. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 11.
We were talking to Chuck Long yesterday. He said Tamu, when he gets to the top of his drop, sometimes he has a hitch or he waits a little bit. You can tell if he's confident or not. He let that one fly right at the top of his drop.
901 Viper switch. Dual left. 901 Viper switch.
Just a little bit too much heat there. Now we get a long 3rd down.
Yeah, and the Vipers 4 verticals in this offense. And so you'll look for Tamu to see if he can read. It's a 3 deep coverage, so you're thinking inside to the inside receivers on the verticals and see if they can get.
Tamu on the run. He's going to try to run for it. Needs to get to the 45. He does, plus more. And Jordan Tamu,
Okay, I see
did
a
so well
scrambling
in college, using his legs to stretch
Tamu.
the defense. Picks up 17 and a St. Louis first down.
And this is the difference between Tamu and most quarterbacks in this league. You see the verticals going downfield. DBs are soft. Tamu brings his eyes down. He's locating the rush and finding out where he can get
Good
outside
job.
the
Smart
pocket to pick up a
run.
huge
Not
first
doing
down.
too
DBs
much.
are soft?
The coverage was soft.
Okay, clarification. Into Dallas territory. Here's LaDamian
On that
Washington.
bubble screen. Those bubble screens
A
are
long,
like
windy road for LaDamian Washington.
hit or miss.
Released
They're
from
just
4
not
different
really
professional teams over 3 years.
not really great plays to really get.
In the NFL,
any
the
good
CFL,
defense is going to swallow those up
AAF.
whole.
They'll go 4 wide, and Washington will get a breather for St. Louis.
Ready, go!
Ooh, and they're getting ready to set something up.
Snap infraction. Offense. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains second.
We've got Brian Folkerts, the center, out of Washburn, and a St. Louis native, Mike. Played his high school ball at Hazelwood Central. A return home for Folkerts.
Hey, gap 58. Scoop safety.
180. What's up?
Michael gets taken down again, and they pile in on him. And the football came loose. Dallas came away with it. And we'll see if he was ruled down. Jonathan Calvin out of Mississippi State recovered.
A little bit sloppy from St. Louis. A little bit sloppy. I need to tighten up a little bit.
XFL,
Ball's been on the ground.
Each football is branded per team.
Ruling on the field is that the runner was down by contact. Second down.
So that means if you're a defensive player and you get a takeaway, you get a trophy. You get to keep the football. Pat, what'd you see?
You know what I like about the XFL is whenever they review plays, like they're probably going to do for this, we hear the ref and the officials talk it through. I think he popped back up to his feet, and then the ball came out.
Ruling on the runner was down by contact. The previous play is under further review.
The defensive recovery, okay. All right. All right. You see that, James? You good with that? He is not touched. James, how you doing over here? You with us, James? Yeah,
Mike Chase is a replay official on the left.
Here we go. So the runner slid down. He was not contacted. As he's going to get up, we have no contact.
I feel like this is a huge part of the game for the XFL that the NFL doesn't have.
Okay, so we're
That
gonna get
the
to
transparency with the refs, with the replays,
we're going to give you a
you know,
spot. Looks like
so you can actually see the process, see what they're going through.
36-yard line coming out.
And I mean, it's not, yeah, they're not necessarily doing a huge. It's not like a huge thing. Obviously, they're just doing the replay, but the aspect that the perspective they give to us is
So that's how the
absolutely,
sausage is made.
you know, this is big.
What a terrible end to
Big.
the drive.
After review, the runner went down, got back up, and was not touched by the defense. The ball was knocked out and recovered by the defense at the 36-yard line. Will be first down.
Jonathan Calvin with the recovery.
I love the efficiency of the review. Let's just simply take a look at it. We hear the conversation, what it is. Let me give you a spot, get the ball back, and you switch. Wasn't a huge delay, keeps the game going, and they make the correct call, which is really what matters.
Joey, a lot of people have talked about the kickoff being their favorite change, the punt, maybe the overtime, the extra point. For me, that transparency right there is a game changer that needs to be adopted everywhere. Stat.
You might be onto something. Philip Nelson back at the helm, completes that one into Flynn Nagel, and Nagel gets taken out after a gain of 3. Will Hill, the safety, is one of 3 captains on the St. Louis team, came up with the stop. Well, how's that for tempo? Dallas is going to try to squeeze one more play off before the quarter comes to an end. Four-man rush, Nelson over the middle, and he goes to his big tight end, and it's a gain of 10. Donald Parham, the 6'8", 22-year-old out of Stetson. The Hatters got a first down. Bob Stoops is back.
Oh, the visor is back.
To the final game
The
of
visor.
the XFL.
He's back, guys. Bob Stoops, visor man.
He wanted a man cave in our new home.
But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I really think that 3 weeks from now, we're gonna see a much better product than we're seeing right now. I mean, it looks good now. I'm not saying, I'm not complaining about it. I think it actually looks pretty good. The defenses, and like yesterday, defenses seemed to be a little bit behind the offenses. I think today the offenses I think the defenses are a little bit ahead of the offenses. But, in week 4, you'll see much more chemistry between the players on every team. And, when you don't have that much time to get ready, that's generally how things play out. But, like I said, I really do believe that this is going to be a product that gets better and that looks a lot more polished as we move forward into the season. And Z to E, I agree with you, man. I think that there is a place for spring football. I think that this could develop into a very popular feeder league for the NFL, kind of getting guys back into the league after they've polished up a little bit. I think that's absolutely a possibility. And, I really think that they're playing it right this time. They're playing it the right way. They're doing it the right way. And they're giving themselves a better opportunity to be successful compared to what we've had from the AAF and the original X League. So far, so good, I think, with how they're doing it right now with the XFL.
In Arlington, Texas, and there's a Sooner flavor to this. Landry Jones will be the starting quarterback next week. He's standing by with Pat.
Landry Jones, obviously the world was anticipating your start today. Can't do it because of the knee. What have you seen from Phil in this offense that you've been trying to help out a little bit?
Phil's doing a great job right now, taking what the defense is giving him, so I think he's doing great.
What has Hal Mummy's offense been like trying to get involved in?
It's been great. Hal's great at keeping things simple and doing what we do best, so he's done a really good job, and I'm getting real comfortable in it.
Do you mind hanging out here for a little bit while we watch your guys play a little bit?
Sure, we'll hang out.
My guy.
Incomplete. Philip Nelson has only missed twice now, 9 of 11, Pat.
So he's 9 of 11. He's doing great, but everybody's anticipating your return. When will you be back? Do you know?
I think I'm going to try to go next week and see how I feel, go and practice and stuff like that, and actually get some reps underneath me.
5 years with the Steelers. Then were you working construction is what I heard, and then you came out here?
Yeah, so kind of fell into doing some construction stuff. Started making tables in the offseason and stuff like that, and then just really liked doing it. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do it after football, let's get some experience in doing it.
What did you learn from being away from the game that you've taken back here?
I don't know if I learned anything in the construction that correlates over to football, but it was really fun ripping up drywall and replacing tubs and doing all that stuff.
That's what the XFL is all about, Tom, okay? A redemption story. Landry Jones is one of the faces of this league, was ripping up drywall just a few months ago, and he's going to sling it next week for the Dallas Renegades. Yeah. Big first down pickup for Phil Nelson.
I missed it.
Freddie Martino with a catch.
Hal's offense is one of the most basic offenses I've ever heard be called. Is there a lot going on or very simple to pick up for Phil?
No, I think that's the beauty of it. It's really simple. I mean, they know what we're going to do. We're just doing it better than they are.
Well, it's 0-0, Landry, so have a little bit of respect. I mean,
I'm sorry about this.
I appreciate you, Landry.
I like Pat McAfee, man. That cat is a good character for football commentary.
All-time leading passer in Oklahoma history.
Now we just need to get them to get me over there on the sideline to interview somebody.
Be first down.
So they'll back it up a little bit. So the big catch by Freddie Martino, played Division II football in North Greenville.
I thought Landry would say, like, I missed the game, was excited to get back. Didn't learn anything, Tom.
He learned how to drive a dump truck and take it to the landfill after they got finished demoing houses on renovations. Cameron Artis-Payne picks up 3. And I think, Pat, what we're learning about a lot of these guys is if they were in the NFL and they didn't get snaps, especially as a quarterback, they didn't get those reps and they weren't able to feed that competitive fire watching somebody else start every week. And if you're behind Ben Roethlisberger, there are very few reps to get.
Yeah, and it really depends on where you end up a lot of times. And so if you go to Pittsburgh behind Ben, you're not going to see the field much.
Here comes pressure from the edge. Nelson swings it out. Cameron Artis-Payne.
Nelson's now 13 of 15. But he's not going downfield. It's only 66 yards. And so if you want to get this offense going, eventually Nelson's going to have to take that shot downfield that we just haven't seen yet.
Just for anybody who's wondering, I switched to that static screen just to kind of break up the action in hopes that I won't get copyright claimed. I'm not sure exactly how they're operating it with the XFL right now. I've been seeing some streams that are just running continuous. They're not getting any kind of trouble with it. But I'm not going to take that risk.
Blue 92. Blue 92.
To go. Aussie choice. Aussie choice.
Jay Hayes on the left, Hal Mumme on the right. 4th and 3. Nelson completes it as it go for 4th down and turn it in. First catch for Jazz
Nice throw,
Ferguson.
nice throw. Nice throw.
Ferguson is 6'5", and you can see Nelson gets back.
They've got these cameras on the field right after the play.
Out of his hands, he said, get the first down and only need a few yards. And so it's a great play call now to get back on the ball and see if they can keep this momentum going.
Austin Walter in the backfield next to Marquise Young. Both great receivers out of the backfield. And Nelson will do that. Here's Young. Picks up 4.
Let's go Blue H-Jet 31.
You know, I'm still waiting to see that double pass behind the line, pass it forward, and then throw it again. I'm ready to see one of those
skill
plays.
Position players on offense have the headsets in their helmets. 6 players on the defense have the headsets. So there's additional signage, especially on the defensive side. Straight ahead run. Marquise Young out of Massachusetts picks up 4. Jake Payne the stop.
Hey, right here. Croc. Hey, right here. Russia. Hey, ready.
12th play of the drive.
Line up. Here we go. Linda. Here we go. Monday. Ready, go ahead. Go. Hey, Tiger Linda. Hey, right here. Here we go. Monday. Ready, go ahead.
Pressure coming. Nelson dumps it over the middle. The pass is bobbled and intercepted, but they say it hit the turf. Kenny Robinson, the product out of West Virginia, tried to scoop it up quickly, couldn't fool the officials.
4th down.
And I can see Pat right down there on the 4-yard line. Pat, what do you got?
I saw a ref just get hit right in the face by Kenny Robinson after trying to make the call there. Ball definitely hit the ground.
That was actually a damn good throw.
He's one of the great stories of this league.
Just bounced off his receiver.
I don't know if he's going to be a case study or if this is going to be an option, but 2 years of West Virginia, come here. He's probably going to be a top-round draft pick in the NFL, trying to show himself in professional football.
More on that story in a moment. 32-yard field goal attempt for Austin McGinnis, the pride of Big Blue Nation. And McGinnis punches it through for the first points for the Dallas Renegades, and the Kentucky product has the Renegades out front after a 13-play, 50-yard drive. 3-0 Dallas.
Paul, I am loving the all-new dual camera system with ultra wide.
Yeah, so they can pass the ball. They can pass the ball forward. Instead of having to make a lateral pass to throw the ball again, you can pass the ball forward as long as it's caught behind the line of scrimmage and thrown again from behind the line of scrimmage. So there is, that makes it a little bit easier for offenses to, for quarterbacks to not have to worry about throwing the ball backwards in order to get another pass forward. But haven't seen one yet. But it's definitely something that's going to be a unique feature that they have, and I think the NFL may adopt something like that as well. I don't see why they wouldn't. It doesn't really break any of the traditional rules of football. Mark, yeah, I do actually like. I like how they're doing the footballs. I like that they have their own unique look. I like that each team has their own color specific football. I think that's cool. And it's the same way in the NFL. A lot of people don't realize that. The balls for each team are a little bit different, slightly. They have their own branding on the ball. And,
next week, as the New York Guardians
for instance, the Jaguars ball will have a little stamp on it that has the Jaguars font on it that identifies that it's a Jaguars ball. It doesn't have any color differences or anything, but I like how the XFL is a little bit more unique with how they have it set up.
Phil, you are 15 of 18 right now. Only 3 points on the board. What do we need to do to score some more points here for the Dallas Renegades?
We just got to capitalize in the red zone. We're driving the field. We're getting the looks that we want. They're not lining up correctly to our air raid offense, and, that's our philosophy. And we just got to capitalize down in the red zone, really.
We talked to Hal yesterday. He said, I got to get my athletes in space. It seems like you've been doing that a lot. The first game, obviously, but you've had 7 weeks of practice. Who's somebody you look to in a big-time situation, you think?
Oh, man, we got too many. But, Cam Artis-Payne in space is going to be really dangerous. Really, all of our running backs are incredible. All of our receivers do different things really well. So, Coach Mumme does a really good job of putting our players in spaces where they'll succeed. So
you're a couple series in. Is this a better life than being an Instagram model?
Absolutely.
Keep it going.
And he won Lion Pat. He's got a lot of favorite receivers. Of those 15 completions, they've gone to 9 different receivers here in this game. Pickup of 3 for Christian Michael out of Texas A&M. Strong start for Philip Nelson. Talking with his wide receiver, Flynn Nagel. Meanwhile, Jordan Ta'amu and the St. Louis Battlehawks are trying to find some offense. Ta'amu 4 of 6 through the air. Here comes pressure from the safety. Toss to Keith Ford. And Ford will try to muscle his way towards the marker. Held just short. It's a pickup of 6. That's going to leave 3rd and 1.
You see the Dallas defense now is expecting St. Louis to try to run the football. You said the safety is coming downhill. They're trying to get more guys in the box. They want to put pressure on Ta'amu to make plays down the field. Now, their last drive, he did a really nice job, got 2 really big first downs, and then they turned the ball over. So now can they get their momentum back and get the chains moving and get their quarterback back in a rhythm?
They've been run heavy of 17 plays, 11 on the ground. Nick Fitzgerald was going to take it. 3rd string quarterback. He was a fantastic runner at Mississippi State. And Fitzgerald has his own Wildcat package.
Fitzgerald has 13 school records at Mississippi State. A lot of those running the football. He's a bigger kid, and when he's in the game, expect him to run the football.
Went to camp with the Texans, but had a hamstring injury.
Redbird Eagle, I definitely agree with you on that. Makes it easier to find out if Tom Brady's out there deflating balls, that's for sure.
Ta'amu on play action. Incomplete. His offensive coordinator, Chuck Long, a great quarterback in his playing days at Iowa.
Double right punch, even, grab soda, VIP. Double right punch, even, grab soda, VIP.
So obviously 11, the personnel grouping that he's communicating not just to the quarterback but everybody else in the field.
Yeah, and so does a pop pass. And so they want to get this ball out quick, maybe catch a tight end over the middle behind the linebackers.
On the RPO, he'll hand it off, and it's Michael, and we got a flag on the play back at around the offensive line.
Down there, right there. Looks like knees down. Yep, we'll get it.
Gotta say, so far. So far, of all the games I've watched, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like the DC Defenders have looked the sharpest. I feel like they've had the most consistent play on offense and defense, but right now it looks like both these teams are kind of struggling to stay on the same page with one another.
Love to the ball spotter. 100% a ball spotter out here.
100% trying to keep the game moving.
I like the gig.
Tamu has time. And that one kicked as he tries to ground it. Crystal Coxey is our ball spotter. She does not possess the flag. Her only job
Nathan Childress, what's up, man?
Moving.
Yeah, and Redbird, that's something that I've been wondering as well. I mean, if you're allowing the broadcast to catch the play calls of the coaches, doesn't it make it easier for the other teams to scout and know what plays they're running?
Third and 20. Any idea what's going on down there, Pat?
I have no idea. I'm trying to make eye contact with the ref here. No, it's not because I'm on the field. There's no way it's my fault.
Could be wondering, why is there a linebacker-looking guy wearing all black standing around the 10-yard line behind us with a camera?
Yeah. Bolo ties are not part of the official personnel uniform.
You notice I went linebacker, Pat. Give you a lot of credit.
Yeah, I look like a D lineman right now. I understand.
Yeah, kind of weird. What happened there?
After being told to be more aggressive, so I don't understand the rules.
That's a surprise, Pat. Who would want to kick you off the field?
It's always easier to ask forgiveness and
no
permission.
Grounding. Number 33 was in the area of the pass. We'll reset the game clock to 6:50.
So that's what the discussion was about. So, Pat, you're in the clear.
24 from the Renegades just said, tell them to throw it to me, man. So, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to relay that message to Tamu.
6:50 on the game clock. 6:50. Thank you.
Huh.
Treston Deku out of Oregon State, that defensive back you're talking about. Third and 20 for Jordan Tamu, and we'll stop the play before it can get started. Movement on the St. Louis offensive line.
Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy on both teams right now. But again, guys, this is what is to be expected early in the season of any sports league. You see this in the NFL as well. Maybe not to this necessarily this degree, but
they have a turnover.
You will see some sloppy play early on just because teams are learning how to play together, which is perfectly fine.
On the road is struggling with some of the finer details of the offense right now.
And of those practices, they only went full contact once. Strong arm to the outside, well short of the first down marker. It's a gain of 11. They needed 25. Keith Mumphrey out of Michigan State.
I feel like we'll see a lot more fourth downs. A lot more teams go for fourth downs.
Pat, Marquette King had a lot of success
especially
in the
as
NFL,
they get closer
and now here
to
he is in the XFL. What about his story?
midfield.
Yeah, I love Marquette. I've known him literally since he was a teenager. Had a lot of success at Oakland. Got named All-Pro by the media. Got hurt whenever he went over to Denver. Fell out of the league. I think he fell out of love with kicking balls, and now he's back into it. I'm happy to see him getting back in the game. Looking to see him bomb a ball unlike that one.
Taken at the 30-yard line by Gerard Hurd, former quarterback at the University of Texas, has a solid return of 12 yards. 5:44 to go in the first half, and a flag on the play back at the 34-yard line.
Illegal block below the waist. Kicking team, number 22. That'll be a 10-yard penalty end of the run. First down.
These XFL balls are not easy to punt, Tom. Very different than the NFL and college.
What's the difference?
Well, they made them a little bit thinner, so it's easier to throw, which makes it a smaller sweet spot. So if you miss at all, it's a big miss, especially with these swirly winds. I think we've seen that thus far.
You know what else is a sweet spot? The under. 52.5 is the number. It's 3-0 in the second.
But yeah, like I was saying, guys, I really feel like from what I've seen thus far, regardless of the scores, I feel like the DC Defenders have looked the most game ready, if you will. They're playing pretty consistently on both sides of the ball from the games that I saw yesterday. But like I said, that's going to all change, or not that it'll change, but we'll see. We'll start to see the top tier teams really kind of separate themselves over the first 3 or 4 weeks. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game yesterday, like immensely. That was a fun game to watch. I think that the league is bringing a very fun It's bringing a new type of excitement to football, and this is definitely something that I feel like can become a true semi-minor league to the NFL, but still have its own popularity in its own right, which is a good thing at the end of the day. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button. Smash that like button. If you feel like supporting, throw a super chat in there. Have a little talk time. Give you a little talk time on the stream here. And if you feel like being generous, you can head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/The Observant Lineman, or you can donate through streamlabs.com/ I think it's The Observant Lineman, not totally sure, but you can also donate. The link is on my channel homepage here on YouTube. Also streaming on Twitch as well. Go over there and follow my page, The Observant Lineman, on Twitch. And that would be much appreciated. Appreciate everybody who's here on the stream right now. We're just checking out some XFL football, enjoying their inaugural weekend. I'm going to definitely be doing some breakdown videos. Maybe not like my trench warfare videos right now, but I'll be definitely breaking down and talking about the weekend's action in a kind of a roundup video, or maybe a roundup stream. Who knows? So keep an eye out for that.
I think Dallas lead with 5:44 to go in the second quarter. Kenny Robinson plays free safety for this St. Louis team. 21-year-old is the first player with college eligibility to enter the XFL. Pro Football Focus had him allowing the lowest passer rating and coverage among Big 12 safeties. Academically ineligible for West Virginia. And so instead of transferring, because he wasn't in good academic standing, he decided he was going to try to find a way to play. And as he enters the NFL draft, we got a double pass option, but it's kept by Lance Dunbar and no gain. And so Kenny Robinson is going to be a fascinating story to follow as we move closer to the NFL draft this spring.
He is all Big 12 in 2018, as you mentioned, a tremendous player. And I was talking to defensive back coach Tim Luce, and they don't know if they'll have him. He's that good with the draft coming up in April. They don't know if he'll stick out the season with this team. Absolute NFL talent, and they look for him to, if he's not here with them this entire season, he is an NFL player, especially from a talent standpoint.
Robinson in on the tackle. Got to get ready quick again.
Kenny Robinson not scared to throw his body.
Don't really understand what they're doing there.
He is an incredible
Renegades. They run these three back-to-back plays quick.
The quality of
I barely had time to switch around, but
fantastic.
66 is
The amount of players in here
now
that
it's
go to
fourth
the league,
down.
come from the league. I mean, it's been a hell of a success.
On fourth down, they keep the offense on the field.
That's
and they
just
try to run
bad
every
play calling.
Lance Dunbar gets stopped, and they will turn it
bad.
over on downs.
That's a huge play by the St. Louis defense.
The ball will go over on downs.
The offense has struggled. They've had some penalties. But they're only down 3-0. They haven't played their best football, but if you're Chuck Long, you're thinking, we can put something together here. We're right back in this game.
Come on, let's drive down this field and score. We're scoring right here. Let's go.
It's a 3-0 lead. The favorites, Dallas.
Pick up a six-pack of Michelob.
Redbird, just to kind of answer your question there. On the weekends, I have some Weekend Geek stuff that I do, like live video game streams and whatnot. But I do actually do content with Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel. I've done a Witcher review. I've done an interview with the showrunner for The Witcher, Lauren Hisrich. And I've done a number of Star Wars videos, Joker's videos, stuff like that. So check out Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel, and you'll see some stuff that I've done on there. Mark, yeah, I have been on Nerdrotic streams multiple times. Really enjoy Gary and what he's doing on his channel. Great dude who really provides a heck of a perspective on the access media and a heck of a perspective on things he sees in shows like Picard and his main love, Star Trek. So, yeah, been on Nerdrotic a few times.
And also streaming live on the ESPN app. Cardell Jones, 291 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So far, every home team has won in the XFL on this opening weekend.
Every under is also hit, Tom.
Good call. Tamu hands it off. And room on the left side for Matt Jones. It's a pickup of 9. Odds makers really had a hard time with this, Pat, because they didn't know much about these teams, and some people thought Landry Jones was going to start. And with an over-under at 52.5, we're going to come in way under if this pace continues.
I mean, I never want to, jinx something, but I feel like the underbettors are very comfortable right now at 3-0 in the second quarter.
We got a whistle before the play.
Coach of the Battlehawks just said a naughty word over here.
Don't tell his mom.
Offense is number 72. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Jake Campos, who left tackle out of Iowa State. Third false start for the Battlehawks. We mentioned the fact that there wasn't much contact in these camps, only one day for these teams. That was handed down by the XFL, trying to keep guys healthy. You would think that has a negative impact on the offensive line.
And it's the timely penalties that are hurting them. They get an 8-yard run, set up a second and short. All of a sudden, the penalty sets them back. Now they're behind the chains. But if you can run the ball and your offensive line blocks that way, it doesn't matter as they run for 9 yards.
DeMornay Pearson L with the carry. He's playing with a heavy heart today. His grandmother, who raised him, just passed away this week. And he will salute her if he can find the end zone today as he plays in this game with heavy emotions. Quarterback draw. Jordan Ta'amu slides down. And a gain of 6. St. Louis's offense seems seemingly at their best when he uses his legs.
Yeah, they really are. And that is their second straight first down where they picked up big yards. And now on a second and short, eventually Coach Chuck Long is going to take his shot downfield. And now that they're across the 50-yard line, this is usually when offensive coordinators want to take that shot. Maybe he didn't hear me.
Matt Jones, well, maybe he heard you this time. We can hear him.
See, this is one thing that I have talked about with the reason why I'm not big with the 25-second play clock is that now you're seeing, if you watch the offensive linemen aren't getting much push. The offensive linemen aren't, getting great pass rush, and I think that's because they're starting to get a little bit winded.
Chuck Long could talk all the way up to the snap. We asked him about it yesterday as they pick up the first down, and he said, I don't want to be in my quarterback's ear too much.
Double right. 901, 8 shallow, Z post. 901, 8 shallow, Z post.
Chuck Long second in the Heisman voting to Bo Jackson in 1985.
Monday.
You heard Z post at the end of that play call. That's LaDamian Washington. And we got the 2-minute warning. We'll see if they'll draw up something different as they come out of this break. Dallas 3, St. Louis nothing. Opening weekend of the XFL.
And, just to kind of answer what you're talking about there, Redbird, I think that it does obviously speed up the game with how they're running things with it. But I also think that when you have booth reviews of previous plays, that kind of balances that back out. So you kind of regain that that shortened time kind of gets re-extended because you have guys you have plays that are being looked at again, and some of those take a little bit of time to get done. But overall, I like the idea of the 25-second play clock, but I just feel like it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the lines. It's going to hurt both teams' lines as you go forward. So, maybe it's something that they tweak a little bit, but we'll see.
Us now is the handsome NFL Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. Troy, XFL Kickoff weekend here, 2020. What do you think?
I think it's great. It's exciting to have football here, and after the NFL season. I watched some of the games last night. Come here tonight, support my guy Daryl Moose Johnston and his team, the Renegades, and it's been fantastic.
You said you were sitting in the box with him, getting a little inside information. He's the acting general manager, basically, for this team for Stoops. What have you learned?
Well, I've learned that it happens all really, really fast. A 25-second play clock, which I love. I think there are some things within this game. I think the kickoff is interesting. A lot of the things that the NFL is hoping to adopt, I think it's a chance to see how it is executed at this level. And I think we might see some of it.
The transparency of the refs and reviews, I like a lot. I would assume you agree in that type of thing. Will you see the transformation, you think, from the XFL rules to the NFL, and how quickly do you think that happens?
I think we will. And it gives the NFL a chance to kind of see how it's adopted here in the XFL and how it's received and how it works and all those things. Dean Blandino, of course, he's been involved.
Heads up, Troy. Jeez, Troy. Get out of the way, Troy.
You're going to get me killed over here, aren't you?
Troy's like 120 pounds right now. He looks incredible. Last question before we let you go. How about the communications from the coach to all of the players on the offense? Do you think that's something the NFL should adapt?
I like it. Now, I was told it was not all the players, but most of the players. I'd like to see it adopted to all the players. I think it's somewhat of a game changer. I'd like to see the coaches be able to talk to the defensive players, all of them as well. I don't see any reason why that would be necessarily a negative. I think it's a real positive. So I like I think this league's got a real chance, and you're involved, so that gives me hope.
All right, Troy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
You're the best.
Troy used to have an office in this stadium, and he has a restaurant across the street. Obviously, he owns this town. I will go visit Troy's. Big thanks to Troy Aikman. Seems like everybody in the NFL royalty loves the XFL, by the way.
Pat, if you would have gotten Troy Aikman killed, your picture would have been on every post office in this entire state.
Yeah, but why didn't Pat protect Troy? Pat took off running. Troy didn't even know what was going on, and Pat took off.
Hey, you hear those shots, you got to run, Joey, okay?
Come on, Pat.
Got a game clock issue, so they need to put a little bit more time. There are
1:43.
Separate 2-minute rules in this comeback period.
He doesn't get the delay now because it was administrative. So now we start it because they've already had that. Yeah.
Clock's supposed to stop after every play under 2 minutes.
Yep, including the ones that finish inside the field of play. LaDamian Washington out of Missouri picks up the first down. Here's how it breaks down. Try to give the team that's trailing more time at the end of each half. If it ends in the field of play, the game clock will stop for the ball spot in a 5-second runoff of the play clock. And then an incomplete passes and out of bounds. As usual, the game clock will stop until the ball is snapped. It's like the college game.
1:34 on the game clock, and the clock will start on my signal.
Okay.
In what world does anybody not like Troy Aikman over Tony Romo? Troy Aikman was the last truly great quarterback the Cowboys have had.
10th play of the drive for St. Louis. Keith Ford breaks through, and Keith Ford takes it into
nice
the end zone.
Run.
A 16-yard
all the way through.
Gives St. Louis its first ever lead.
St. Louis got the lead, 6-3. Now go for 3 points, please. Go for 3 points.
Coaching staff was concerned, how would the tackling be? Pretty good so far in this game, but on this touchdown, completely missed the tackle.
So now the point afters give the teams options. You can go for 1 from the 2, 2 from the 5, or 3 from the 10. And it's interesting talking to the coaching staffs. They're all using different analytics and trying to figure out where the most value is. St. Louis thinks it's from the 5-yard line.
And Chuck Long said, might as well go for 2. That was his analytics. We might as well go for 2. We'll see how it works out.
So there wasn't much of a difference in the success rate between the 2-yard line and the 5-yard line. Tamu, fade route, looking for Washington. Diving catch, but out of bounds.
It was a heck of an effort.
St. Louis fails to convert. Here's what the touchdown looked like from Keith Ford. Ford in and out of traffic and right through the would-be tackle of Tenny Adewuse. Jonathan Hayes' Battlehawks have their first score.
If you're St. Louis, with the penalties you've had, you've turned the ball over, and to be up 6-3 late in this half, if your defense can get out here and hold Dallas for his last minute and 20, how excited is your locker room going to be to have a lead in this game when you know offensively?
Is this another Dallas team projected to win big, falling through the floor of underachievement again?
So it's
time will tell, right?
And more. So that's no man's land, the difference between the kicker and his coverage and the return team. And of all the kickoffs we've had over this opening weekend, we've only had one first major touchback that came earlier in this game and was the 28th kickoff of opening weekend. Taylor Russolino out of Millsaps College. Austin Walter from the goal line. And Walter is able to take it out.
Wow, he didn't see the whole left side of the field that he had a lane to run up. Sideline wide open.
I am on the sideline here with Jordan Ta'amu, who just got dapped up for leading the team. Your first half of professional football coming to an end here with a touchdown. How do you feel out there?
I feel good. Never had much possession going in. So as soon as we start moving, I think our offense is really good as a team. So once we get the ball, we're going to keep driving and move fast.
Oh, so you were moving, then you guys would shoot yourselves in the foot, it seemed like earlier, then you finally get it in there. What are you looking to take into the second half, you think?
Hey, less penalties, less false starts, and just keep moving as an offense, as a team, and we all play together, and no penalties, like I said. So
I like where his head's at, Tom. I really do. He's such a calm guy for being 22.
Yeah, he's chill. I mean, what is he, Hawaiian? Yes, he is. He went to New Mexico Military College. He said, I was so frustrated, I wanted to quit at one point, but we had to shave our heads, and I couldn't imagine going back home with a shaved head.
That was a real excuse, by the way.
Under a minute to go in this first half. Pressure coming on Nelson, and he gets rid of it to the opposite side. Donald Parham is a freak. 6'80", 240 pounds. He's 5 inches taller than your average NFL tight end.
Dog, Linda. Dog.
He's got a 7-foot wingspan, and Hal Mummy said the hardest thing with him is our quarterbacks aren't throwing it high enough. You can't overthrow Parham. There's Parham again. Here's Hal Mummy again.
Open 6'8" shallow.
How can an offense that's so effective be so simple?
And he calls us shallow. So, again, they're keeping these passes nice and short. Nelson's 19 of 22 just for 105 yards, and he's completing these balls because they're just 5-yard catches, and then his guys out in space got to make plays.
They'll drop 8. Parham again, a first down.
Get on the ball.
Some nice throws by the Renegades quarterback. The he's letting it go.
Open six.
He's letting it go. I think they need to try and stretch the field a little bit, though.
Think about the comeback. Give your outside guys a signal to run a comeback. If you don't, they'll go deep.
I asked Hal Mummy why the number 6. He said, simple. Let's go get 6. Clock rolling. Out of the backfield. Cameron Artis-Payne trying to find the sideline. And he gets popped. The clock will stop.
Let's go open 31. Open 31.
Hey, banana.
Dexter McCoy the stop.
Banana.
Open 31. That sounds like a run play.
Banana. Here we go.
Or maybe a bubble screen.
Philip Nelson can catch his breath. Timeout, St. Louis.
That was Tampa 2. First charge timeout, St. Louis. This will be a 30-second timeout.
I was talking to Nelson yesterday, and he was telling me they have like 25 hand signals that he can give his receivers on any play, any pass play. So they had 4 verticals called. They didn't get the coverage they wanted to get. There's no hand signal, so he went to the check down.
Big banana team, Tom Hart. Big banana team.
Let's see if they find any potassium on this play.
Here we go.
Cameron Artis-Payne finds room and straight up the middle. And the former Auburn product takes it inside the 10. There's a
Like
flag
I said,
back
looked
at
like
the
it was going to be a
25-yard
run.
line.
And it's coming right back because of that
22-yard run
hold.
if it stands.
Yeah. Let's see.
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Didn't get the number, but a killer penalty against St. Louis.
Yesterday when we talked to Hal Mummy about him, you know, creating the air raid offense and revolutionizing football, I said, what's a misperception? He said that we don't like to run the ball. They love to run the ball. Now, granted, that would have been massive there. Holding brings it back.
See, the important thing on those plays when you're running a draw as an offensive lineman is to pass set.
That's not really like a
to invite the defensive lineman to rush outside. So you kind of short set him on the inside, and then you push him wide when he rushes outside, and it gives you the chance to actually open up those lanes for the running back.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 20 seconds. 20 seconds on the game clock.
Hey man, as long as those hands are inside the frame of the body, you can hold as much as you want. As long as you don't keep him from trying to escape to the outside, you can hold that cat and his shoulder pads right under the armpits as much as you want to. I did it every play because I got those hands right on him real quick.
It makes sense, Joey.
Yes, absolutely.
St. Louis showing pressure. They only bring 4. Nelson, quick hitter. He's able to find Nagel, who spins free, picks up a Dallas first down, 14 on the clock.
First charge timeout of the half, Dallas. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So the Renegades will talk about it.
30 seconds on the timeout.
You guys get out. 59 double buzz. Darius, get him on the ground. Here we go. Frisco drop.
St. Louis going to bring pressure here.
Buzz is usually the underneath coverage. They're telling their defensive backs to buzz underneath some of these crossing routes. They see that the offense so far for Dallas has been a lot of shorter routes trying to get guys out in space. So they're telling their guys to buzz, which means try to take away the stuff underneath.
Coming out of the timeout, 14 seconds left in the half. Nelson has it tipped. It's still caught. Jazz Ferguson trying to make a guy miss. 8 seconds remain in the half.
That was
No
better
gain.
off not even caught.
Devontae Lambert batted it. That cost Bob Stoops' team. And they'll bring the field goal unit out.
Final timeout of the half. Dallas. 30-second timeout.
Interesting with the play clock rules. You figure with 8 seconds, you could still get another pass play off before you had to come out and kick.
Yeah, but you'd want to get that pass play to the end zone. And so from the 24-yard line to try to get one to the end zone, you're cutting it close with 8 seconds left.
Tom, I was kind of thinking like you. With the clock stopping, if you can get a play quick, get them down, maybe 6-second play, gain some yards for your kicker here, and the Swirly wins. But I think that's the thing about the XFL. The strategy is going to have to grow, you know?
Austin McGinnis, a registered financial advisor, also hosts a podcast about Kentucky football. And Yaka, he's got 2 field goals in the first half, and all the scoring for Dallas comes off the leg of the former Kentucky Wildcat.
Okay, kicker, get lit with him.
Only thing more excited for Austin McGinnis was when he and the other special teams guys got to meet Pat McAfee yesterday. That was big for him, Pat.
Yeah, you know, I say dumb things into microphones, and a lot of kickers and punters enjoy it, but this kid's really good. I think the XFL has a high-quality kicking group, and I think that's big for the game, obviously. Good for the brand, good for the game, and this is my type of football here. 6-6 in the first half.
McGinnis, and this is interesting.
Pat McAfee
he's crazy.
In the
AAF last time, 4 for 4, his first time out. The Bears brought him in when Cody Parkey had issues. He's part of Chicago's rookie camp before that, and they had a one-day kicking derby. He lost out on that, but it seems like a position that would transition.
And yeah,
to
you
the
know,
next level, Pat, if you can show
for me, honestly, I don't really like Dallas's uniforms.
You have to take advantage of it. This XFL
not a big fan of them. I do like St. Louis's uniforms.
And then if they get the call up to the NFL, that's when you have to make kicks. Austin McGinnis, Russolino, you got some really talented ball kickers here. It's just all about consistency, and I think they've shown that here so far this far.
McGinnis with the kickoff. They got to wait till it's fielded before they can move, and it won't be fielded. And a major touchback with 3 seconds left in the half.
That's smart, by the way, Tom. Kick it out. Make them go into a Hail Mary. Let's not get crazy with this new kickoff rule and allow your returner to bust one open here when you just got a little momentum tying it up.
St. Louis take a shot, and if so, what does the play look like?
No, I think they take a knee, actually, and just get out of here. If you're St. Louis, you're pretty excited.
So obviously we got halftime coming up. I'm going to take a quick break. Going to leave the static screen from ESPN up, and we'll obviously jump back into it once the second half starts. But it's been a defensive game so far. I mean,
not only favored in this game by 9.5, but
St. Louis has been able to get a touchdown on the board, which is good, but still tied 6-6. So we'll see how this game goes in the second half.
First ever half coaching in the XFL here. What have you learned about your team that you'll talk about in the half?
Yeah, just you know, we've been a little bit short on some third downs, fourth downs, just a little better execution in some of those situations. We got a chance to keep the ball and stay on the field.
Your offense has been efficient. You just haven't been able to score points. How does Hal get that offensive bunch over the helm?
Same thing. I think we got to hit a few big plays. We haven't had really any big plays, and then execute on third down a little bit better. And we need better run defense on against them as well.
Have you enjoyed being back out here, Coach?
I love it. Absolutely.
For the love of football, Coach Stoops, and us here in Dallas, Tom Hart.
1,133 days since Bob Stoops last coached in a game. He personally has a 10-game win streak on the line today. That's how it ended with Oklahoma. St. Louis 6, Dallas 6. We'll take you inside the locker room. We've got more access coming, and look back of the previous game today. It's the end of the first half here in Arlington. You're watching the XFL on ESPN.
And just a quick side note, if you're like paying attention to the graphics and the presentation, I really do dig it. I feel like, this is what it looks like when you take 2 years to get a league ready for its launch instead of just jumping into it in 12 months like the AAF did. And we all know how the AAF ended. So not a bad start here for the XFL. I think it's actually been everything they could have hoped for. But like I said, going to take a quick break for this halftime, and I will see you guys in a minute. Going to leave this screen up here, and we'll be back at it once the second half starts.
from the first half.
Yeah, and you can see Philip Nelson on a 4th and 2 getting the out cut to his tall receiver, which led to a field goal. Dallas getting on the board, 3-0. Coach Stoops taking the lead early, excited to be back. Would like to get 6, but he got 3, and he's happy about it. And then St. Louis finally, toward the end of the first half, getting things going. It's been a physical game up front. They've run the ball well. Their running backs done a nice job of making guys miss. They missed a 2-point conversion, which made it 6-3. And this is the fade route. Everyone loves this throw now to the back end of the end zone to a taller receiver. And then to end the half, Dallas drives down the field with less than a minute 20 left in the first half, gets points on the board, and we go in 6-6. Tie ball game. You heard the guys saying it's 0-0. No, they could have said it was 6-6.
It gets you to the same place,
yeah,
right?
It's the same place.
It's a new game. Unless you took Dallas, you're down 9.5 at the break.
Can you still bet the under?
We can get something going. Right. Jonathan Hayes is with Pat McAfee.
Coach Hayes, obviously tie game here, 6-6. What did you tell the boys at halftime?
Well, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Hell, we have a couple of illegal procedures. We put the damn ball on the ground. We got to eliminate those things. I think we're running the ball well. I think our defense is playing stout. We just got to finish it now.
12 years as a player in the NFL, 16 as a coach. How do you feel about your first half as an XFL head coach?
I could still do a couple things better, too, myself. I got to make sure I stay on top of the situation. So we'll get it right, though.
Coach, you're doing a hell of a job. Back to you, Tom.
Well, there is almost a family feel to this one. Jonathan Hayes and Bob Stoops have known each other a long time. Along with Chuck Long, they all played together at the University of Iowa. And Stoops being from Youngstown and Hayes from the Pittsburgh area. Every time they'd go home for any break in college, they would ride together. It's a 9-hour drive from Iowa City to Youngstown. And then somebody would come over and pick up Jonathan and cover the rest of the way. They got to know each other very well. Hayes was on his first staff at Oklahoma. Chuck Long joined them there after Mike Leach left the staff. Austin McGinnis is red hot on Twitter right now. He gets us started in the second half. Keith Mumphrey comes up to the 1. Mumphrey out of Michigan State. And he's got some room on the edge, but he can't quite get around the corner. And he's taken down a nice special team stop, and that's where St. Louis will start their offense.
And speaking of those coaches' stories with Coach Hayes and Coach Stoops, I don't know that I've sat in a room with coaches and listened to better stories than the way they told and their history and their connection. It is amazing how long these guys have known each other, and they're still friends, yet today they're not friends. For these 3 hours, they're not friends.
Coach Hayes was talking about how him and Stoops used to drive 10 hours to Iowa together, back and forth as teenagers. I mean, there's a lot of deep history here. Great football minds, though, in the XFL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
You get through both sides of the Dire Straits cassette when you make that long drive. Jordan Ta'amo out of Ole Miss.
Ready to go?
Matt Jones picks up 2.
Coach Hayes there told me they like the run game. You could imagine they're probably going to hammer that pretty heavy here early to see if they can find some more success.
I'd imagine Coach Stoops, being a defensive coach, is thinking the opposite. He is not going to let these guys run the ball down their throat and run it as well as they did in the first half.
We heard some of the adjustments they made at the grease board in the locker room. Tamu looks left, comes back right, delivers that one on time to Marcus Lucas out of Mizzou.
First down, first down.
One of 2 Mizzou receivers in the St. Louis team, along with LaDamian Washington. They'll make their dome debut in week 3 of the XFL season. St. Louis will be on the road at Houston next week.
Out. Good set.
Wholesale changes for Dallas.
Sunday. Ready to go?
Gain of 1. Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator. 8 years in the NFL with the Lions and the Rams.
Let's go. Trips left. 902 change. Y out. Trips left. 902 change. Y out.
902.
What does Monday signify from Tamu?
Monday a lot of times is just a snap count. But here's your why, and that's the guy you expect to run the out here.
Tamu looking, Cole Hunt fell. Tamu will take off, and he slides down What would have been shallow center field.
All right, everybody, we're back. Second half is underway.
Yeah, tight end fell down, slipped down,
and it appears
early, before this game started, and because
that
it rained last night, rained this morning. I was talking to Jeff Badette, he was saying that this field is a little bit.
That 10-minute halftime is pretty
so
quick, huh?
Out here now, you could see the receiver slipping down, but Tomu, because he's a great athlete, didn't matter, can still make the play.
New turf here at Globe Life Park. Out to LaDamian Washington. Gets through the first man. Good blocking on the edge. Washington gets leveled at the 45-yard line.
Nice hit. Nice hit.
Asante Brown takes him down. Flag on the far sideline. We got a play that extended all the way to the St. Louis bench. Well away from the play on the field.
Somebody mad because they got drove blocked all the way into the sidelines.
We got helmets flying, Fords being
I know how that is. I done did that to a couple cats before in the league. Throwing them into the sideline, watching them get mad.
They got a lot to look at.
He got flagged down late. Oh, I see him over there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they're looking at a possible targeting near side.
Uh-oh.
Okay, all right. And
what
it's
we
still,
got here?
and it's still first, it's going to be first and.
There we go.
Still first.
Oh.
And then they have whatever happened in front of the St. Louis bench on the far side.
All right, so they're going 15 back.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 82 against the offense. We have a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, where it'll be second down.
So that was Cole Hunt, the tight end. Watch 82 in white. The penalty came on the far side of the play, all the way on the other side of the field.
There's one thing that's been in this league is hitting. They have been hitting very hard in every game you watch are these big hits. But that wasn't the penalty. The penalty's on the other side of the field next to St. Louis.
Looks like they're getting some good hits in this league so far. They're not being super particular on targeting calls. They're not being super particular on helmet to helmet, even though there is an emphasis on player safety.
Some EMT folks to come over to the St. Louis sideline.
I just don't get. Let's see if we have a reverse. That reverse 50 is no good.
This was in the area of where the play happened with Cole Hunt, and this is not looking good. They're going to put an air cast.
Ooh, somebody broke their leg.
Smith, the Dallas safety, was over there, and as the play continues over the sideline,
that's not good.
The assumption is that they carried over into a player not in the game. That's Cole Hunt, the St. Louis tight end.
Ah, this is painful.
I bet.
I can't.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but looks like a player from St. Louis's team broke something because they had to rush the EMTs over there. You know, but as it stands right now, from what I've, still with this game still in progress, as it stands, I really feel like that Washington defenders Seattle game was the most entertaining. We saw some big plays in the Houston LA game, but still some a lot of sloppiness in there as well. That quarterback from Houston is looking pretty good. Like the way he's been playing. He's only 5'7", which is a bit of a surprise. A quarterback at 5'7", balling like that. But hey, get in where you fit in, right?
So a scary situation for the tight end out of TCU, Cole Hunt. He was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the prior play. And here's where he got tied up with Deron Smith, top of the screen. So he carried Smith past the boundary. That's why the flag came. Watch, see if you can see what happened at the very end, the left leg. And back to action. The leg gave out. They put an air cast on him. Matt Jones picks up 4 yards.
It's unfortunate the injury happened, but once again, another penalty on St. Louis. And you could hear Coach Hayes talking to his team during the huddle. They got to compose themselves. They have 7 penalties in this game for 68 yards. I mean, they can't. It's going to have trouble. They're going to have trouble winning this football game if they continue to shoot themselves in the foot offensively.
The penalty originally negated a first down. They'll take Hunt back to the locker room. Jordan Ta'amu facing pressure. The pocket holds. Now it doesn't. And Ta'amu taken out inside the 20.
Ooh, you got to get rid of that ball. You got to throw that thing out of bounds, brother, or run.
A loss of 14, and Dallas's defense gives them life.
This is a terrific job by Matt Jones picking up this blitz, giving Ta'amu a chance to stand in the pocket. Now, he's 22 years old. He has to realize this ball either has to come out or you have to take off running, because initially up front they do a nice job of giving him time. Nothing open downfield. Get rid of the ball. You can't take that kind of sack.
So Marquette King, NFL leg, all-pro at one point with the Raiders, gets away a boomer, his best kick of the day. And Gerard Hurd.
Man, that boy booted that ball. That's crazy. That was the kicker for the Raiders. I remember when that cat was balling when he was the kicker back then.
He just did. The first couple he missed a little bit. The XFL ball isn't easy to hit, but if you get a hold of it, that thing goes. Marquette just showcased why he was an all-pro in the NFL, why he's probably going to end up back in the NFL, and why he's a weapon. That's a big field flip, especially with the way the momentum was going in the last couple plays.
Pat, back to that previous possession. You're over there on the St. Louis bench. Any feel for what happened to Cole Hunt?
Yeah, I guess Cole Hunt, he blocked him off the field, and then he got driven over the bench. And then obviously a scrum began. D Ford over here had to get hold back. There was a fight that was about to, very, very emotional sideline there, obviously. And obviously a lot of T's and P's there for the guy.
8 yards on the carry for Lance Dunbar, the long-time
Pat McAfee says a lot of T's and P's.
You feel like momentum is on Dallas's side now.
Well, and it was that way in the first half. They had momentum for, probably a quarter and a half until St. Louis got in the end zone. So now can they just keep it going? You can see they like some things in this run game.
They love
start to end of the first half, and all of a sudden this offensive line is going. The air raid, they like to run the ball some too.
Dunbar to North Texas, 3-time Sun Belt Conference running back. A school record 4,224 rush yards in his career with the Green.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
The injured player is linebacker Terrence Garvin. Six seasons in the NFL with 4 teams. Undrafted free agent.
So yeah, a lot of guys in this league are going to be a lot of guys in this league are, sort of journeymen in the NFL. Some have had decent careers. Some have bounced around from team to team. But I mean, you're seeing some good work. I like the work that these guys are putting in.
Give your tackle some splits now. We're gonna go open Bronco Hero. That's a Bronco Linda. Hey, got Linda on this then. Bronco Hero. Hey,
Bronco Linda. I'm thinking Linda is the protection, which means that the offensive line is going to be turn blocking to the left. Let's see if that's what they end up doing.
Those are go routes. It seems like they changed their mind. I don't know if Coach Mummy changed his mind, but somebody changed their mind when they were talking to Nelson.
The mad scientist.
Hey, he said he'd call open 6 every play if he had to.
Corner pressure. A dump off on the shallow route, and Flynn Nagel picks up 4.
Open double Fridays 31.
Banana. Hey,
we got 4 downs here.
Right here. Hey, banana.
If I hear banana another time.
Yep. Here we go. Easy. Hey, dog. Roger. Here we go. Monday. Ready, go ahead.
Down the seam, enough for a first down for Dallas. Sean Price and the Renegades are rolling now. Gain of 20.
Same thing. Just do the same thing.
And that's
Run
all
the
Nelson.
same play over.
Gives the hand signal, tells the slot route to go down the field, and he hits.
Let's see if the defense adjusts
Al Mummy said same thing.
and
They go
actually
back to number 80 Price.
tightens up their coverage a little bit here.
2-6.
Price in the slot on the right side.
Zebra. We're good. Monday. Ready, go ahead.
And nobody there.
Yeah, and if you watch this play, you can see Nelson gives a hand signal out wide. Hurd couldn't see the hand signal, which happens sometimes when you're in a slot formation. Couldn't see it, so he didn't know what route to run, so he just went straight downfield.
Is it not the receiver's responsibility to see the sign?
Well, if you're in a slot and you're the guy that's on the ball, a lot of times that slot receiver is between you and the quarterback, and you can't see the quarterback's hand.
Hurd just jogged by and said those exact sentiments, Joey. It's almost like you've been there before.
St. Louis shows pressure. Here they come. Slant incomplete, and we got a flag on the play. David Rivers.
I don't think that's PI. I think he floated that just a little bit.
29. Pass interference. Defense, number 29. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Hey, right here.
And here's the signal by Nelson. If you just watch him back here, he's going to give a quick signal. Well, we missed that one, but he gives a quick signal out wide. You can see Hurd couldn't quite see him, so didn't know what to run.
Fresh set of downs for Dallas. Swing pass. Dunbar will take it to the 5, and he's taken down at the 3. Let me go back to that play as a wide receiver. Does the quarterback have any responsibility to recognize whether or not the receiver has seen it? Is there any recognition?
No, there is no signal back. He gives you a signal. You take a look at it. If you didn't get it, he would never know.
See, I think this is where you get hurt as a team. This is a little bit too fast.
Handoff, Cameron Artis-Payne, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and
they're calling plays too quick. They're calling. They're running right back to the line of scrimmage. There's not a lot of room to work with.
I would be surprised if they don't blitz on the 4-yard line.
So maybe change up your formation a little bit. You've got 3 wideouts, 2 backs. Ringo, O-line should be moving right.
Nelson is going to take off, and he gets stuck and up in it at the line of scrimmage. Big time hit for St. Louis.
But for a second, he thought he had it.
Tried to hit that circle button, Tom. Caught him halfway through it. Now there's a little scrum. Don't hit our quarterback like that, says the Dallas Renegades offensive line.
And that's exactly what Coach Hayes told us. They decided not to blitz, so they went 8 guys in coverage. It's either all out or all coverage, which means they're going to rush 3 and keep 8 behind.
They're going to bring Austin McGinnis back out for a field goal. Here's where Philip Nelson got laid out.
Nelson not a great athlete. I don't know why you jump in the air in that situation. It's not going to help your chances of making an extra yard.
23-yard attempt. Austin McGinnis punches it through. He was perfect in the AAF.
Kicker got all the points
for Memphis. He is
for the Renegades.
His XFL debut, 3
has
for
all their
3
points.
Tonight.
So I think that on that last drive there, that's kind of a perfect example of how you can be hurt by that overly fast-paced style of play. I think that 25-second play clock, you're trying to rush in plays. You know, you have three really bad plays, I would think, with what the Renegades are running there. I think you need to get in a huddle. You need to get a play. something that, you know, if you're going to run the ball, get in a running formation there so you can actually get some, the majority of the people who are blocking to be actual blockers, and maybe try a little misdirection. But when you got a spread offense, you know, you don't have, when it comes to the running game, it's a feast or famine. Like, you don't really get those kind of opportunities to set up runs and to set up, you know, maybe a play action pass. And you know, the closer you get to the goal line, the harder it is to really push any of those options that you want to have to be able to get the ball in the end zone. So I still am not a total fan of that 25-second play clock, but we'll see. Okay, not sure exactly what's going on here. All right, there we go.
Quit overthinking.
From Hayden Fry to Marty Schottenheimer, Bill Cowher, Marvin Lewis, he's learned so much from all the coaches he's played for and coached with. But the thing he took from Bob Stoops, being with him at Oklahoma, never let the players see you panic. Looking for composure here. Trailing for the second time in this game. And the St. Louis return takes it out to the 30. Pat standing by with Hal Mummy.
Coach, you've been coaching football since 1976. Revolutionized the game with the air raid offense. Your team has been able to move. You haven't been able to score a touchdown yet. What do you have to do?
We're still we're a little jittery still. We just got to get relaxed, and we got to break the ice and get in the end zone. We've moved the ball pretty good, but we haven't gotten the end zone.
You're a creative guy. Obviously, the air raid offense is taking the world by storm. The double forward pass is a rule that the XFL has put in. We're all excited to see what you did. How's it looking out there?
Oh, I'd love to do one, but St. Louis got smart, though. They're playing their safety so deep, I'm afraid we can't get it.
Coach Hal Mummy loves the bourbon, loves the loafers, and he loves good offense. I'm excited to see what he does here with his Dallas Renegades.
That's fantastic stuff. He dreams up new plays, sitting in the team hot tub with a little maker's mark.
Yeah, and the towel over his shoulder. But he told us it doesn't matter what the defense does. We're going to go out and run our offense. He doesn't watch film of the opposing defenses because it doesn't matter. But he has recognized that St. Louis is playing their safety deep, and that's taken away the
bad snap. Went right past Tamu, took his eyes off of it. Finally finds it at 10, eludes a cameraman, and it's dropped.
Wow.
Cameraman.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was ugly.
Marcus Lucas off of his hands.
That was ugly.
That's a composure, though, of
but
Tamu, man.
Silver lining, they didn't lose any yards on that play. So,
to move forward.
All in all,
he wants to keep his composure.
he lived to fight another day.
This keeps happening, it's going to be hard to do.
It's actually a smart drop by Lucas. It saved him.
RC from NYC, what's up, my brother?
Missouri guys are smart, let me tell you. Trips to the top for Jordan Ta'amu. And too strong over the head of Lucas. 4th and 4, the punting team will come on. Pat, do punters believe in momentum? I mean, Marquette King just boomed one last time.
Yeah, it's like get the rust off a little bit. He hasn't punted in a live game in a couple years. He hit a couple misses, and then once you get that good one, you can really start feeling yourself. I'd assume he did another good one here from Marquette.
Yeah, Pat, that's great, but I'll be honest with you. If I'm St. Louis, when I played football, I didn't care how the punter was. We didn't even want to see the punter hit the field, and he's punted the ball way too many times if you're St. Louis.
This is another laser.
I concur, but whenever the wide receivers drop balls, you need a punter to save you with a perfect.
Wow. That. What happened?
Hey, Pat almost ran out there and
Wow, that's a terrible job by the coverage team. Excellent kick by King. I mean, that was just a wonderful kick.
Just don't even touch it, buddy.
Wow, and it went right through the wickets on Gerard Hurd.
First down from the 35-yard line.
What? And so it goes from inside the 1 out to the 35-yard line.
It's not often that you get to see a perfect. Troy Aikman's walking towards me right now.
How many times you see these special teams players? Just leave it alone. The ball's going to be on the half-inch line.
Amen. That's a voice of football.
Hey, look, Bo Harness hadn't got a chance to touch the ball.
That's Troy. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm going to go talk to that guy that just ruined a perfect punt.
Do we have to pay for Troy's analysis?
I don't have the bag, but you guys probably do.
Those guys on the punt team, honestly, they get so excited because they don't get to touch the ball much that when they see it.
Now, I will point this out. Steve Harness was trying to track that thing. It very nearly hit Gerard Hurd and went right between his legs. So if he thinks that went off the punt returner, you fall on it for 6.
That wasn't even a good fall on it, though. He didn't even recover it.
He'd be terrible at hungry
Yeah, that
football.
was terrible.
My man.
We got a flag on the play.
Incredible effort on a special teams play there. Ends up backfiring a little bit. What was going through your mind?
I thought he touched it, so I tried to get on the ball before he got on the ball, and then we went in the end zone.
Okay, Joey, you're 100% right. I can respect the hell out of that.
Can we have Pat more often?
Yeah. I'd like to
that dude looks salty.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous
He
spot.
thought he was scoring a touchdown there, by the way. And in the result, actually, worst case scenario, ruined the best field position you could possibly have.
We're a team that's trailing by 3, and that was a 63-yard punt by Marquette King.
Hey, by the way, Joey, when you're like, oh, I don't want to see the punter, blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. You saw just a piece of
So here's my question. Why isn't Marquette King in the NFL? He's just busted 2 50-plus yard punts in a row.
9-6, Joey.
One stopped at the half-foot-yard line. Why is this guy not with the NFL team?
To our guy in the bolo tie, Marquette King has the most swag of any punter on the field right now.
All right.
2nd and 11. Nelson flushed. He throws it out to the side. Marquise Young is able to turn that into a gain of 8. David Rivers to stop.
You see Terrence Garvin jump in there and clean this play up. He went down a little bit earlier with the ankle. He's back healthy. These guys are hitting. If there's one thing that has stood out in this league this weekend, a lot of big hits.
Guys out in the desert said 52.5 was the number. We're going to come in way under that one, looks like. Nelson gets taken down in the backfield. St. Louis looking for a play. It comes from Terrence Garvin. A sack and a loss of 2.
Wow, this game is looking to be the sloppiest game of all the games I've seen this weekend so far.
In this league, they will not be able to get the ball out. He sends Garvin on a blitz on a huge 3rd down. Now they get the ball back, and Pat, I know you want to see the punter again, but St. Louis wants to move the ball.
Dallas just 1 of 8 on 3rd downs.
Now, if we talk football there, they gained 5 yards. They're on the half-inch line there. This is a whole different ball game that they're punting in.
Gallett's punch it away, and that's fumbled. And St. Louis lucky to fall on it. DeMornay Pearsonell.
Ooh, they got to tighten up. They got to tighten up everybody on the
Special
field.
teams not so special tonight.
Things not looking great. Don't spit in your hand after you dropped it. It's too late now.
In this league, because the punt team can't leave until the ball is punted, you have a lot more space to catch this ball, which is a good thing and really helped out in that situation.
Treston Decoux was on the coverage, nearly came up with it. Christian Michael, the running back. Michael tried to bend it back inside. And he has to work that hard just to pick up one. 2:10 and counting in the third quarter.
And the attitude of the Dallas defense is Tom Moo's going to have to make some plays.
Yeah, RC, this
stopping the run and see if
this game is looking pretty sloppy.
To make enough plays to put points on the board.
4-man rush. He swings it outside. That's Marcus Lucas. Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator for St. Louis.
11, dual left. H quick, Iowa even, VIP. Dual left, H quick, Iowa even, VIP.
Iowa inside zone.
Sunday, ready to go.
Tamu gives it up. Michael is swamped. It's almost like Dallas
wow.
knew the play coming. It's a loss of 2. T. Grace Scales was right there.
Dallas is not going to let St. Louis continue to run the ball, especially on first down. And now they set up a 2nd and long, and now it goes to the Dallas defense, and they're in a situation where they want to be.
Chris Woods, defensive coordinator, Dallas.
Feels like every single play could pop, and every single possession matters right now.
Tamu.
Great catch.
They say caught, and it's a first down on a pickup of 12. Alonzo Russell out of Toledo.
Ready, go.
Tempo for Ta'amu in St. Louis. In a swing, Pearson L takes it up the sideline, and a first down for the Battlehawks. 13-yard gain.
Pearson L was an All-American punt returner in Nebraska 2014. Drops the punt. It's key for him to get the ball back in his hands to sort of erase that bad play and make a play. Now they're across the 50 again. Can they finish this off? Keep this momentum going.
Michael gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Bad block, 83.
Rashard Clayette, 27-year-old out of South Florida.
Daryl Johnson told me before the game that Clayette is a hitter. Got him from the Minnesota Vikings practice squad.
Just left, 501, 8, pitch.
So the merchandise is all sold out, huh? I would imagine that maybe they didn't manufacture a ton of merchandise, but the fact that it's sold out is still good.
Tamu pressured, sidesteps it, has a chance to go deep to Washington. Instead, he'll tuck it and scramble. Tony Garrard chased him, and Tamu shook him. We head to the fourth quarter in Arlington.
All right, time for the fourth.
Of the XFL. And this one's
I expected this one to be a bit more of a scoring game, but hey, the kickers are doing their thing. Yeah, they're clearly not covering that that 53 point spread or that 53 point over under.
ESPN. May not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the XFL and ESPN.
Tom Hart, Joey Galloway, Pat McAfee. We head to the fourth quarter. Final game of the opening weekend of the XFL. And Dallas, heavy favorites. Sorry, I got distracted. Those guys aren't wearing shirts. The Renegades have a field goal lead.
Matt, what's going on, brother?
St. Louis Battlehawks in the whites with the gray trousers. Dallas in all black. Tiamu trying to take off. He will pick up a first down and plenty more. Inside the 10 before he's taken down. It's a 35-yard scramble.
Hell of a scramble. Stop playing with that boy.
This is a great play call. The quick step, offensive lineman downfield, and all of a sudden now Selmo and his speed against the defense of Dallas. They track him down, but they're inside the 10. Can they finish this off and get back in the lead?
Longest play of the game. We've got an injured player for Dallas, Tenny Uche, the safety out of Delaware. Does this benefit St. Louis, or does it hurt them to have play stopped in this scenario as they were kind of moving the tempo up?
I don't know if it necessarily matters. I'm sure Tiamu is thinking, I can catch my breath now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long run, huge play, gets a chance to catch his breath and settle back in.
Yesterday, meeting with Tiamu, he is a well-built dude. I feel like if those 4 games that he had at that military institute his freshman year didn't count against his eligibility, and he had 1 more year of SEC football, I think there would have been a lot of NFL interest. Instead, obviously, it's his job to come here in the XFL, dominate, grow a little bit, mature a little bit. And I think he's doing just that. The composure's unreal. The athletic ability's there. Excited to see if he can punch us in.
Quick hitter to the outside. Complete to LaDamian Washington, and he gets hog-tied out of bounds.
11, double F, 17, General. VIP. Double F, 17, General. VIP.
Let's go. Get lined up,
17, an outside zone look. Let's see if they run it.
Yeah, outside left, to the left side. Odd numbers go left.
Christian Michael, line of scrimmage, nothing else. Let's listen to both sides.
Let's go 11. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? We got a super chat from my man, the White Matt Studio. I appreciate that so much. $9.99. Sending some support because he loves the content on the channel. Appreciate you so much, my man. I do it for you guys. I try to give you guys my perspective. I've been there. I've done that. I just want to show you guys, share my knowledge and have great conversations with guys like y'all. Oh, wow. Great catch. Wow.
Alonzo Russell and a 9-yard strike.
But appreciate that. Super chat, $9.99. From the White Matt Studio. Much appreciated, brother.
St. Louis.
Great throw by Tiamu.
That was a dime, by the way, from Tiamu.
Point afters, you're allowed to go for 1 point from the 2-yard line. You can elect to try a 2-point conversion from the 5 or 3 points from the 10.
Try for 1 from the 2-yard line.
Here's some of the strategy. Coach Long told us you might as well go for 2. Well, now they're up 3. They got a chance to put this at 4 to make it so that they just can't kick a field goal. All of a sudden, that 1 looks pretty good to them.
So does the underdog. Matt Jones denied on the conversion. Jonathan Calvin.
See, this is something I don't like about this, about the point after. Why go for 1 point? Go for 3. Make it a 6-point game. They have to score a touchdown just to tie.
On the money.
That's a great throw. Wow.
6'4", 218. You put that ball up high near that goal post, and the defensive back will have trouble going up to get it with him.
I'm here with Jordan now on the sideline. Jordan popped a big run down, and then you threw an absolute strike in the end zone. What was it about that drive that really got you guys going?
You know what, just the speed. I told the guys they can't hang with us. We just got to show them that each play, hey, next play, no matter if we lose yards or gain yards, it's the next play. So our goal was to score, so that's our goal. The rest of the game is keep scoring. Defense gets stops, and we're going to keep scoring.
All right, great drive, Jordan. The composure's unreal from this kid. And yesterday we saw a lot of very tired interviews. I'm impressed with his conditioning there, able to talk.
Yeah, especially after the longest play of the day was his 37-yard run to start the quarter.
A lot of times you'll see with athletic quarterbacks, they pop off a big run, it gets them in rhythm.
Oh.
A nice pass is coming next because now they're back in their element. They're making those kind of plays, moving the chains, their biggest play of the day, and then the throw, he then makes his best throw of the day.
If you haven't seen the kickoff, here's what it looks like. Taylor Russolino will kick it from the 30. His coverage team lined up at the 35. Only a 5-yard separation. They can't move until it's fielded. From the 5. Wow, what a hit.
Great
St. Louis
coverage.
getting momentum from both sides of the ball. Well, Derek Hoskins.
I think we're seeing another Dallas team underperform.
This is textbook tackling. This is the way you draw it up. Helmet right in the chest, drives the hips, picks him up, puts him down, and everyone pats you on the head after that.
Quarterback Philip Nelson, 27 of 31, but only 169 yards in the air. A check down again. And Austin Walker takes it out for a gain of 8.
Blue 92. Blue 92. Blue flip. Make it blue flip. Blue flip.
Tiger Linda. Hey, Tiger. 90. What? Blue flip. Nice, Tiger. No, Roger. You're free. Yeah, swing. Here we go. Monday. Ready, go in.
Looking for Dunbar in the swing pass. And a former Cowboy takes it out to the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 8.
Blue 92. Blue 92. Willies, be cool.
Tiger Linda. Yeah, blue. Tiger Linda. Swing.
You hear the head coach, or the offense coordinator, be cool.
Tackle, not to mix it up.
Yeah. Hey, Lou. Hey, zebra. Monday. Ready, go in.
Nelson going deep for the first time into coverage and incomplete. Threw it out of bounds. Montre Wade out of Murray State had the coverage downfield.
And you can see why Nelson hasn't gone downtown. The coverage was soft. Defensive backs have been playing back, and that's why Nelson's been checking the ball down. I truly believe in offense, sometimes you got to take that shot just to make sure the defense respects your ability to go downfield. To clearly ball out of bounds, no chance for a completion.
Bob Soup's talking about the air raid. Said this offense is at its best when you can be bold. Bold running straight ahead. Austin Walter taken down past midfield.
Yeah, do it again. Same thing.
Do I need to tell you what's going to happen here, Tom?
I think Austin Walter might get a carry.
Oh, you got it? All right, good.
Now we're about to watch them get stuffed when they run it again.
Instead, it's a swing out to Dunbar. And Dunbar picks up 4.
Blue flip 92.
Blue flip. Hey, Tiger Roger.
So you understand the quarterback has 2 play calls, which he can audible to either one, and that's why you can say do the same thing, but the play looks different.
Hey, hold 5-7. There you go. 5-7. Monday. Ready, go in.
Crossing routes. Nelson gets taken down. Took too long to develop. It's a loss of 5. It's Jake Payne out of Shenandoah.
Blue flip 92H wheel. Blue flip 92H wheel.
Tiger Roger. Hey, Jazz. Right.
That was the second sack of the game for Jake Payne.
Look at your linemen. Look at the linemen. Offensive linemen are tired.
Quarterback bounce back after getting sacked.
Here's your H in the backfield. Be running the wheel route up the sideline to see if they can catch him deep.
Here we go. Monday. Ready, go in.
Deep ball, and Jazz Ferguson wasn't ready for it. You could hear Philip Nelson scream Jazz as soon as he let it go. missed opportunity for Dallas, and the Northwestern State product wasn't ready.
And you can see where Jazz is going right now toward the end of the bench, Tom. When I messed up, that's where I go, down to the end.
First charge time out of the half, St. Louis.
A despondent, Jazz Ferguson.
Now you can see where that 25-second play clock is starting to affect those offensive linemen. Guys are bent over, hands on hips. You can just tell they're gassed. They were barely halfway down the field. At the one position where you're not going to have guys getting subbed out, I mean, that's a tough game to play. Tough game to play. White Mat Studio. I think that I've seen some solid offensive line play. Not seeing a ton of moves from the defensive linemen. Not seeing a wide variety of pass rush skills on the D line. I would actually say that the D lines at this point for me are the weakest part of all the teams that I've watched. Not seeing a ton coming from them, but they're skilled there. It's just not, they just haven't developed that second pass rush move. But the offensive line has been okay. They've been solid. I've seen a little bit of shakiness in the receivers, overall throughout the league, but there's skill here, man, and it's fun football to watch. So, a little bit, this game is pretty sloppy, but there have been some stuff. There have been some good looks here and there throughout the course of the weekend. So we'll see how it plays out.
Now out of Nebraska. Muffed the last opportunity on a punt return. He stands at his 10.
Us punt returners don't appreciate when you bring up the
AB and Logan Paul about to have the beef of the century.
Have them. I mean, it's going to happen.
Can't believe you ever made a mistake.
I didn't say me.
Galich out of Baylor. Drills this one inside the 5. It will check up, and Dallas is able to kill this one at the 2-yard line. 48-yard punt, Pat McAfee.
Absolute beauty, too. Put the wedge out there. Galitz has torn his ACL twice. And to come out here tonight and put on the performance he has is nothing short of remarkable. To pin them deep now. It could be a momentum turner for the Dallas Renegades, down 3 here in the fourth quarter.
He tore it against Texas Tech and stayed in the game. He tore it like warm-ups and kickoffs before the game. He stayed in and punted 3 times while he was at Baylor. Long field for Jordan Ta'amu in St. Louis, but they have a 3-point lead. The underdogs threatening a road upset. 5th St. Louis possession to start inside their own 20. Ta'amu will keep it.
That is a great play call. A terrific, maybe the best play call of the day.
Double left. Iowa even book. General Randy. Same play.
Let's go, same play. Let's go. I don't got it. Iowa even book. Iowa even book. Hey, gap, 51.
Iowa short for inside zone. Straight ahead. First down run, Matt Jones. Chuck Long calling up some winners.
Dual left. Dual left. Iowa even. VIP Randy.
Iowa even. Get set. Sunday. Ready, go.
LaDamian Washington on the catch. And he is muscled out of bounds after a pickup of 2. Chris Woods, the defensive coordinator on the left.
Double right. Punch even, grab, soda, VIP. Double right, punch even, grab.
The St. Louis team just looks, they look better than the Dallas team.
You can see he's only giving the offensive line part of that play call. That's all they need to know. They don't need to know what the skill guys are doing.
Pressure from the edge. Tamu to the slant. That's good for a St. Louis first down and plenty more. Demorne Pearsonell to the 40. Stays on his feet before he's taken down. And St. Louis goes into Dallas territory on a 39-yard run after the catch.
And it's the second time they've called Soda. What Soda is the quick pop behind the linebackers. You can see Pearsonell coming across. Because they've run the ball so well in this game, they've run it for 172 yards. It opens up the little pop pass behind the first time they ran it. The second time they hit Pearsonell for a big play.
Tamu hands this one off. And Matt Jones picks up 6.5. Almost to the midway point of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm going to get Doom Eternal. I'm going to stream that for sure. I'm probably going to try and stream tonight at some point Resident Evil 2 Remake or The Witcher 3.
Big run to get them the first down, getting this offensive set rolling. And now offensively, they seem like they're in a rhythm.
Nearly balanced in the yardage department pass run.
This is a
RC,
starting way backed up.
You know, it would be hard to do trench warfare on these just because I need to get that end zone cut, but I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I'm actually still working on my Kansas City San Fran Super Bowl trench warfare video. That one's taking me forever to get done.
Safety pressure. Jones trying to find space. Not much there.
Yeah, White Matt, I do stream on Twitch. I'm actually streaming this on Twitch right now.
We got opposite toss here. You guys ready? Get your guy in. Dual right. H quick. 27. Opposite toss general.
My Twitch is The Observant Lineman. One word. The Observant Lineman.
Here's a toss. Demorne Pearsonell gets bottled up on the edge. Goes out of bounds. It's a gain of 2. Tresson Deku with the tackle.
All right, 11. Dual left. 901 H mesh. Dual left. 901 H mesh pump. 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 Z pump. Z pump.
Safety blitz coming. Tamu running for his life, and he's taken down at the 30. T. Gray Scales.
Yeah, they had the Z pump to the top of the screen. They were trying to get a double move route. The blitz came and didn't have a chance to get this ball out of his hands, but the double move was there to the upside.
Got him by a shoelace.
And that is just a great defensive play call to send a blitz when a team is trying to run a double move when the quarterback has to hold the ball.
48-yard attempt now for Taylor Russolino to make it a 2-score game, and it is true. And St. Louis takes a 15-9 lead with 5:16 to go. Pat, it's been an amazing weekend already. What a way to cap this thing.
It has been an absolutely wonderful weekend, which leads us to the man who's in charge of this thing, Oliver Luck. When Vince McMahon approached you about relaunching the XFL, could you imagine a much more successful weekend than this has been?
Not my wildest dreams. Some great games. This one's a old-fashioned slugfest, a little bit of a barn burner in terms of the teams being so equally matched. So what a great opening weekend for us.
I know you guys took 7 months to kind of test out these new rules. The reviews have been nothing short of spectacular. The kickoff rules, everybody loves. The extra point attempt, everybody seems to love it. Did you have a sense that it would have this overwhelming positive response?
I thought the vast majority of football fans would like it because the underlying rationale, why did we change the kickoff, makes sense, right? And it makes sense not just for excitement, but for player safety as well. So we had a pretty good feeling that these rules were going to be well accepted by our fans.
The XFL is a good thing for this country. It's a good thing for football. I don't think anybody could be more proud than what we've got going on from you and your team, Oliver.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Pat.
No problem. Tom, Oliver Luck has been nothing short of professional, and what an overwhelming, successful weekend this has been for the XFL.
Who would have thought that the XFL would have the moral high ground on the NFL when it comes to player safety?
Young with the return, couple of push-ups to try to get going. 5:10 to go. St. Louis up by 6. Demorne Pearson out with a 41-yard reception. He's battling emotions, and the opponent today, he lost his grandmother this week. She raised him. He's playing with a heavy, heavy heart. Incomplete. Trying to find Parham.
Early in this game, Philip Nelson would have just simply taken the running back out of the backfield. This time tries to go over the middle. There's 5 minutes left in this game. They're down 6. More pressure than he's dealt with so far today.
Here we go.
Here's Nagel. Cut down after a gain of 5. And Hal Mummy got taken down.
Landry Jones was telling Hal, you got to give him a call there from your back. Right in the middle of this whole thing. Well, they went to a signal because his headset's off right there. Quick adaptability. Maybe the headset broke. Let me check.
They just got the play off. Nelson going deep. Too strong. Hal Mummy was without the quarterback that's going to be the face of this franchise. Landry Jones, he is due to start next week. He suffered a minor knee injury at the very beginning of camp for Dallas, and the crowd here at Globe Life Park started chanting Landry Jones. This offense will look different with his arm.
Yeah, Philip Nelson's gone deep twice in this game. Both times the ball has landed out of bounds. And I think the fans are just want to see an offense.
Yeah, those deep balls are not looking very good from any, really from any team that I've seen thus far.
And so they're sitting there starting to think we're behind in the game, we should be winning.
But,
one reason they're not.
It's early, first week. We'll see things get a lot better.
On 3rd down.
This is where the magic happens.
Hey, can I get a coffee? I'm coming on! Everybody has that game that they fell in love with. Those games were somebody's legacy. This is my legacy.
Our legacy.
Our legacy, whatever.
It's not my legacy.
At least you brought me breakfast.
Oh, this is mine. It's prescription.
Yeah, the deep ball. I mean, the deep ball is really what can separate a good quarterback from a great quarterback. I think for a long time, Phillip Rivers was like the top-rated deep ball passer in the NFL for a number of years, I believe. I think it was maybe over the course of a decade, he was the top. He was definitely the top deep ball, had the best deep ball accuracy in the league. Yeah, well, RC, the thing is that there's an actual film angle that's used, and every team uses it. You have your sideline, your wide film, which shows the entire wide perspective from kind of almost like that TV sideline view. Then you have the end zone view, where they have guys that are usually posted at the top of the rafters, or some designated spot facing north and south of the field, where they can actually see from behind the offensive line or in front of the offensive line. And that's the film that I use on my NFL breakdowns, because I have NFL Game Pass, so I can look at the end zone footage to break down O-line work.
All right, go.
Come here. In that situation, you never take that.
I didn't got my leg out of nowhere.
All right.
And so as a result, St. Louis settled for a field goal. Their lead is 6. Matt Jones picks up 2.5.
Exactly, Ryan, that all 22.
Battlehawks came in as the underdog. The winner of every XFL game will split $100,000 per team.
Hey, can you guys hear it?
Well, Damian Washington could use some money. Homeless in Shreveport, Louisiana, after both of his parents passed away. Drove to the University of Missouri on an auction car and a GPS he borrowed from a trucker. Here's Matt Jones. Nothing doing. Jones taken down behind the line.
Well, the Damian story we learned about yesterday was magical, man.
Hit it up in there.
Obviously, you got to hit the hole a little bit harder, but the Damian, motivational speaker, would love to hear that guy talk. He was nothing short of professional yesterday.
Trips left, 902 change, Y out. Trips left, 902 change, Y out. Trips left.
That Y out. Look for that tight end to get the ball here. 85.
One of the oldest guys in this team. Play clock is already at 2.
And here's your Y, and they ran this play earlier, see if the Y can get the out cut.
Tamu got him. First down, St. Louis.
That was a heck of a throw.
Play earlier, and the Y fell down.
Yep.
They're talking about getting the ball out. He gets this ball out on time in a tight window. This is a terrific throw. Tamu's been different in this fourth quarter. These throws he's made, you can tell he's settled in.
That long run has changed everything for him, Joey.
Taylor Heineke, backup quarterback, told him 2 minutes. Jonathan Hayes says, I got this. They will let the
tight end over there being a dummy, about to get them flagged.
The 2-minute warning here in opening weekend, the final game of the XFL weekend.
Timeout.
The underdog Battlehawks from St. Louis lead 15-9 with 2 to go.
This is Fan First, free to play, anywhere, everywhere, all day. Who couldn't use 500K? This is for the love of football. Download the free Play XFL app and you can win 5.
All right, we're drawn to the end, close to the end of this game. Let's see if St. Louis can hang in there, pull that thing out. But I agree with what a lot of you guys are saying. I think that, this has been a success by all measures for the XFL. I also think that this is a great opportunity for them to build up that underdeveloped player pool to get guys who are able to develop into sound players that can have a real opportunity of being successful in the NFL and maybe even the CFL as well. But, I really think this league can become a big league. And look, it's going to be decades before this thing could ever really, truly compete with the NFL. Decades. But this is a good start.
Matt Jones, submarine past midfield, a pickup of 6.
Hey, come. Hey, so I'm gonna wait till like the first charge time out of the half. Dallas, 30 seconds in lead.
So Dallas will stop the clock with 1:55 to go. The last 2 minutes each half take a little bit longer than you may be used to. It's a comeback period. Occurs after the 2-minute warning in each half. On plays that end in the field of play, the game clock stopped until the ball has been spotted in 5 seconds. Run off the play clock. Incomplete passes and out of bounds plays, the game clock will stop until the snap.
Let's not do the quick. No quick. Dual right, Iowa on VIP.
We said take the quick off. He's talking about the motion. They've been motioning in this play. And this time, Coach Hayes told him to take the motion off of it.
We're good. Come on, they called a timeout. Let's go. Monday.
Expect inside zone here?
Yeah, why not?
180. What's up?
Matt Jones picks up a St. Louis first down. Dallas has 1 timeout remaining. Only 2 timeouts per team per half in the XFL.
Okay, Tom and Joey. In the NFL, if you get to 2 minutes for the first down with the other team with no timeouts, you can run the clock out. In the XFL, it's 1:12. If you get to 1:12 left in the game with the other team with no timeouts, it's over. So that's obviously the object right now, the Battle Hawks of St. Louis.
Double left, Iowa even book, General Randy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Line up.
Timeout.
Play clock was at 2. St. Louis has changed their play calling into Jordan Ta'amu. It had been Chuck Long, and late in this fourth quarter, it's coming from the head coach, Jonathan Hayes.
And Coach Hayes got to work on his timeout call. He was very relaxed.
Prior to the snap, timeout, St. Louis. With a second and final charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, so I can just tell them and then we can just be live. I can't hear it.
Double left, Iowa even book, VIP. Double left, Iowa General book.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:32.
Double left, Iowa even
on the game clock.
VIP. Got me, Jordan? Yes, I said.
There's a belief on our side that Chuck Long's headset isn't working to the players, but maybe working to the coaching staff.
You could read his lips, and you could see that Coach Hayes was repeating what
Chuck Long's headset is out. That's what Coach Hayes just told me.
So there's a delay in getting these play calls in because they're going offensive coordinator, head coach to quarterback. You heard Jordan Ta'amu ask him to be quicker.
Yeah, ask him to be faster, and Coach Hayes wasn't expecting to have to do this. And so in this situation now, as the head coach, as he mentioned, now you got to run everything. Now he has to run the. Now he has to
Yeah, I think that, Ryan, I think that you do hear there is going to be support from NFL players for the XFL for sure. I think because even as NFL players, we recognize that there needs to be another league. There needs to be some kind of competition for the NFL to help kind of drive change to some of the issues that we're not really seeing much movement on in the NFL. Okay, Boilermaker. Okay, boiler up. But no, this league is going to have some things that they do in the future that are going to push the NFL to make changes. And it's going to benefit the overall sport of football. So So, it's really a situation where we want to see another league succeed because we think it's good for the sport.
That'd be good. All right, what do you want? Dual left, Iowa even, VIP. Dual left, Iowa even, VIP. Dual left, Iowa even.
There is a reason he would cover his mouth when sending in the play call. It's because the other team can still read lips and steal signals, even though they can't hear the audio.
Exactly. They're going to run the ball.
Hey, there's not a whole lot of calls, right?
We all know that.
They do it again. Dallas with the stop. Remember, inside 2 minutes, even though it wasn't out of bounds or an incomplete pass, the play clock will stop. The game clock will stop, pardon me. And they'll run 5 seconds off the play clock before it starts winding again.
Dual right, Iowa odds, VIP.
Pat, you said that number was a minute 12?
Yeah, all the coaches I spoke to, a minute 12 when the opponent has 0 timeouts is good enough to win any of the game.
Dude, the players union in the NFL is so corrupt, you guys wouldn't believe it.
Third and long. And nothing. That's a loss of 1. 1:04 to go. 4th down coming up.
So you take this down to what, 40 seconds? Around 44.
Marquette King is the punter. What's your mind here, the mindset for a punter? Do you think Dallas is going to come after it, number 1? And what's the reaction?
Well, Marquette's get off is very quick because he comes from the NFL. Right now, I'm trying to hang this thing and pin him as deep as possible. I think this is a big deal. They're probably going to take a delay of game. I believe Coach Hayes is telling Marquette, back him up 5 yards, not that big of a difference.
Gerard Hurd set to return. He started his career as a quarterback at the University of Texas for Mack Brown. He broke Vince Young's single-game yardage record as a freshman.
Delay of game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Hey, you got to cover.
Got to get it in.
Yeah, you have to cover. I mean, that is.
Oh, Ryan, a true Boilermaker. Awesome, dude. Awesome. But yeah, NFLPA is one of the most corrupt. And they're the worst players union in the NFL.
Gerard Hurd falls on it.
Game over. St. Louis Battlehawks win because of a punt.
Easy, Pat. Easy.
That's what punters do, Joey. Oh, no. They say Dallas recovered it.
I hope nobody changed the channel just now because of you.
I mean, the Oscars are on. That's boring. Right now, we got a shootout here in Dallas.
But we don't need a red carpet. We got a green carpet.
Yeah, and the problem is Nelson hasn't gone downfield very well.
Yeah.
And so if you're Dallas and you need to score and you need to
punter is the MVP of the game.
To do all day long, you're going to ask Nelson to now push the ball downfield, and the 2 deep balls he's thrown have been out of bounds.
You know who has a great arm?
Play.
The running back has a great arm. We haven't seen the double pass, but Lance Dunbar can throw it.
Marquette, what were you thinking there? Just try to hit it as high as possible so the guy could potentially drop it and get some hang time?
You know what? I just want to play it safe. The coach asked me to do something. I did exactly what I was told.
Attaboy, Marquette. Great to see him back.
6.2 yards per completion for Philip Nelson. They drop 8. Nelson checks down. Jeff Badette, the former Oklahoma star, runs a 4.27 40. He's out of bounds after a gain of 4.
You need to push the ball downfield, and your 4.27 guys running the under. Not a great chance for the big play.
Hurry up.
Again, they rush only 3. Nelson complete to the 30-yard line.
Do it again. 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 Everybody do it again. Get lined up. Hurry up, Badette.
Florida, here we go. Here we go. Monday.
Clock starts now. Nelson, deep, intercepted, and St. Louis is going to steal a road win. Their captain,
there you have it.
With the interception to seal this one.
Game over. Yeah, Dallas looked. I mean, I know they don't have Landry Jones out there, but
that's what we're talking about. I was just invited.
But
I'm not going.
They were sloppy all game. They didn't look very good at all. St. Louis pulled it together when they had to. Their quarterback made the difference on a lot of plays. And they got that win. A 9.5 point underdog.
that maybe that
and they
spread
got the
of
win.
9.5 was completely wrong.
Could be.
How about the over-under of 52.5? Pat, I hope you made some money on that one.
I believe all 4 unders hit this weekend, which nobody could have expected, but I'll be interested to see what the lines do next week.
St. Louis, the only road team to win this weekend. I hope you got the Battlehawks in the money line. If you did, you're buying us dinner next week in Los Angeles.
Aaron, just to answer your question,
the
simple fact that the NFL's Players Union has still not been able to negotiate former players who are vetted, who have their pension, for the fact that they still have not been able to secure lifetime health care insurance for players has been huge. And among a number of different issues that are a little bit more complex to talk about than we have time for, the NFLPA has done a lot to line their pockets. NFLPA has done a lot to give off the appearance that they are in opposition with the owners. But if you look at the actual numbers behind a lot of the details of the CBA and how they play out in real time, the NFLPA has essentially done nothing to improve the situation for players who are active as well as players who are retired. So, yeah, they just haven't been getting it done all around. But they are making a ton of money off of players who are retired as well as players who are active and investing in their retirement. They are making billions of dollars off of players without those players even having access to any of that money. So really unfortunate, really quite disappointing with how D. Maurice Smith has operated as the president of the NFLPA.
And receivers helped out a lot with just the outside screens and just taking what they give us, and that's basically it.
You're 22 years old. This is your first professional ball. In early, was there any jitters? You felt pretty comfortable from the jump.
Yeah, I was nervous, but at the same time excited, more excited, just to be able to play again and with the XFL. So this is the first year of many more years to come, and first game of many more games. So excited and blessed.
What's Coach Hayes like as the head coach? What was his message at halftime, and how is this going to contribute or continue throughout the entire season?
Yeah, Coach Hayes is a wonderful coach. He knows what he wants, knows what he needs, and he told us at halftime, hey, we got to keep doing what we're doing. Defense makes plays, and offense just keep driving and keep running down the throat. And that's
so yeah, XFL seems pretty fun thus far. It seems like a league that has a future. It seems like a league that the people want, and it seems like a league that is ready to be taken seriously and has actually presented a serious product on the field. So I'll definitely be adding these XFL games to my coverage as far as news and as far as breakdowns go. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate everybody who's been in here on this stream. This has been fun, and I really appreciate you guys being on the ride with me as well.
Into this game, the couple throws he made in the fourth quarter for the
looking at some of the questions in the chat. Do I think the NFL does a poor job developing players? No, I don't. I think the NFL does an amazing job at developing players. The issue is that the NFL only has can only develop so many players. Those are going to be your active, your 53-man roster. Those are going to be, guys who are drafted over guys who aren't. And at the end of the day, you're seeing a lot of these guys who are playing here in the XFL are guys who weren't able to necessarily make that 53-man roster. Doesn't mean they're not good players. Just means that, the numbers game in the NFL saw them getting the short end of the stick. But, there's absolutely an opportunity there for these players to now gain a bit more in way of the developmental process, and I really think that this league is going to have its own piece of the market And that's good for everybody at the end of the day. It's even good for guys in high school. So, you know, this is good. This is good. And I'm happy that we were able to actually watch it and see a product that, you know, we can all look at and take seriously. So looking forward to next week. Appreciate everybody for being in on the chat. Make sure that you check me out on my Patreon, patreon.com/theobservantlineman. Make sure you check me out on Twitch at the Observant Lineman is my username on Twitch. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Really appreciate you guys being here on this XFL Kickoff 2020. I will catch you guys on the next stream. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.